9 a.m. because all the drivers are out at 4 a.m. Just saying. NBA playoffs this weekend, they all kind of sucked until last night's late game. We'll talk about that. And Wendy is a finalist for Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. What are his chances of getting some trophies? We'll talk about that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It is fiesta time. Everybody's out having a great time. None of you plan on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons, especially this time of year. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. You can text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus at any fiesta event, license number 149, AA Best Bail Bonds, keep the number handy, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts. Until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull-Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not, but you get the idea. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in every bite with the new Cinnabon Pull-Apart.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPV LLC.
Replace your worn-out brakes and save now on Brake Best Select. Brake Best Select Pro are import direct brake pads and rotors only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Kinetico water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com. And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big, big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are in full force. We're looking closely at what happened last night and what goes on tonight. Full settings of all. The Cowboys are ticking away toward the draft. Where's a running back going to fall? What about that offensive tackle? Is that going to be first round? We're looking at it all very, very closely. Jason, tell me about Trombone Shorty, and nobody should give you any business about gumbo on the beach. It looks mighty good.
Trombone Shorty, Rob, was fantastic. Guy always puts on a great show.
He does.
And I was at a restaurant having lunch. Right when we landed, in our group chat, there was, I don't know, there was something going on, and I'm like, dude, I'm on a beach in Florida, just sitting down to eat, got a cold beer, and there was some gumbo served, like chips and salsa at this place. Everybody gets gumbo. And RJ Ochoa was like, what's in the bowl? Looks like beef stew.
No, I said it looked like beef stew.
It didn't look like beef stew.
And I said, who the hell eats beef stew at the beach?
Well, nobody. But it was gumbo. And it came with the lunch.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you focused on the wrong thing. It was the beer in the beach, the white sand of Destin, Florida, that was the focus, not really the bowl of soup.
Well, you couldn't help it. It was a huge bowl of, looked like chunks of beef and carrots and potatoes.
There was no beef, there was no carrots, there was no potatoes. There was some sausage. It looked like some shrimp, some fish parts, and I don't know. It was gumbo. It was good. It was gumbo.
Poor Minix comes in, but it came with the lunch.
Well, it did. I think the other part is, you guys know me well enough. Soup isn't what I would normally order.
Well, is beef stew really soup?
Well, except for it was gumbo.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, is beef stew?
No.
You can't consider that soup.
No.
Or gumbo. Is that considered soup?
It is.
It is?
Gumbo is considered soup.
It's chunky.
Do you not like chunky soup?
I don't mind.
There's a whole soup line called chunky.
I have no problem with chunky soup.
Yeah.
That looked like beef stew.
I don't think so.
It did. It looked like beef stew.
Well, it didn't taste like
All
beef
right.
stew. I can tell you that. It was good gumbo. And again, I will order clam chowder in California because every place we go to when we're in LA or Oxnard or whatever, everybody claims to have the best clam chowder.
And it's good, yeah.
And I like a little bit of clam chowder, but I'm not really a soup guy. But they brought it out and put it in front of me right as you guys were thinking. I was like, well, I got my beer here. And then the soup showed up. And so the soup ended up in the picture. It wasn't going to be. It was just going to be the beer and the beach. But, you know.
So see, you trying to make us jealous because you're sitting on a beach on a Friday afternoon.
Well, there was a little bit of FU in that. Yeah.
We ended up making fun of you.
Well, I'm here to create content for you
eating
guys.
Beef stew at the beach.
Hey, man, eat what you want. It's in Florida. There are no rules in the state of Florida, I'm told. And based on the stories that come out of Florida.
Bunch of wacky people there.
There really are.
Yeah.
There really are a bunch of wacky people down there.
How was the scenery?
Did I mention that Destin, Florida is like a bachelorette capital party place?
You thought I meant that? I was thinking of other things.
Oh, the beach, white sand, water's gorgeous. And let's just say you had to be very careful where you were looking.
I understand.
Yes.
Keep your sunglasses on.
Very much so, because your head could be on a swivel.
Nice.
And the bachelorette party accessories that could get a little overboard, if you will. Things that you generally see sometimes at a bar. Take those to a beach party. And let your imagination run wild.
It is right now.
The scenery was
yes.
It's a beautiful area.
Well, good.
Beautiful area. So the NBA playoffs were not overly beautiful.
They really weren't.
Admittedly, Saturday I saw some of the games in the day. Check scores. All the games were kind of yesterday the games are and the jokes about the Dallas Mavericks and the city of Dallas and their first half playoff performances between that and the Cowboys in the first half against Green Bay were right on par, were they not?
They were, yeah.
You know, watching and seeing on Twitter some of my Dallas media friends tweeting out like, I haven't seen a bad playoff performance like that in the first half since January.
Yeah.
It had that kind of feel to it.
It did.
I thought without what's his name, that Dallas would roll in game one, and instead they got rolled. I mean, how better are the Clippers going to be if number 2 gets his ass on the court?
Well, I don't think he will. It's about over for him for the season, I think. So, you know, he's content to just sit there and, you know, collect a paycheck.
Yep.
It's exactly what he's doing, kind of guy that he is. I was shocked. Remember, we were talking even on Thursday before you left, and then again on Friday, how Zion Williamson was out. And both teams with their big stars out, and they both won their play-in game to get into the playoffs.
Yeah. And credit New Orleans for taking Oklahoma City to the wire last night, a chance to win it at the buzzer. And it was great because I got home in time to watch almost the fourth quarter, the entire fourth quarter. The one thing, Southwest Airlines, on your free live television, you don't offer TNT. So I didn't get to see that game on my flight home. But I got home in time to see the ending of what was the best game of the weekend, and quite frankly, a surprise that was the best game of the weekend, considering Oklahoma City was the 1 seed playing at home. That building was rocking, and CJ had a shot at the buzzer and just flat missed it.
He did miss it, but what I like about that is that their star, SGA, came up clutch when he needed to come up clutch. And I was even telling Pledge earlier, even little Chet Holmgren made a nice block there at the end. It made a difference. So, yeah, that was a good game. But I like to see stars play like stars when it matters.
3 games tonight, Cleveland, Orlando. And I tell you what, the Sixers, I'm not sure with Embiid, the way he was limping around. I thought if they got game 1, they might have a chance. The Knicks, if Embiid can't go tonight or is limited, I don't know if they have much of a chance. And then, of course, you got the Lakers and Nuggets as the late game tonight on TNT.
Loved that first Lakers-Nuggets game one.
Mm-hmm.
It was very enjoyable. Watching the Lakers get their butts kicked.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I hope it happens again tonight. Because now Anthony Davis is all butthurt that he's not on the finalist list for Defensive Player of the Year.
No, Wemby is, though.
He is.
Wemby is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. He's also a finalist for Rookie of the Year.
He's going to win that.
He should be a runaway, should be a unanimous winner of Rookie of the Year. And I guess we'll find out in the coming days as they announce who the winners are. Now, as far as Defensive Player of the Year, despite some people I know that think he shouldn't qualify because he is a rookie, I disagree with that. But he is a finalist, but he won't win because the team wasn't good enough. Right.
And because he's a rookie.
Well, it has nothing to do with him being a rookie.
It's never happened before. It won't happen this year.
I don't care it's not the rules officially.
No.
But the team wasn't good enough for him to win. And so I won't be surprised or disappointed when he does not win Defensive Player of the Year. I was surprised, though, reading the athletic survey of NBA players that they published this morning there on the Athletic website, which is a fantastic read. And you go through this athletic survey, and Wemby is voted amongst peers, and how the Athletic does their anonymous survey. See, they polled, let's see, how many people voted in this one? The MVP was Joker. Who's the best defender? 132 votes cast. Wemby, number one at 15.2%. Drew Holiday is at number 2. Oh, Rudy Gobert, who's probably going to win the award, is 6, according to NBA players. I find that interesting. Although Rudy did win the most overrated award percentages, if you will, of voters in this anonymous player survey that the Athletic puts out.
I agree with all of that, honestly. I'm not a Rudy Gobert fan. I'm just saying that the writers that actually have a vote that counts are not going to give it to a rookie. That's not me.
It is you.
It's not me.
Well, you keep
I
saying
don't have a vote.
You keep saying that.
I don't have a vote.
He won't win because he's a rookie.
I don't have a vote. I have nothing to say about it, but we've already seen some ballots that have been revealed, and I think there were 2 out of the 10 that we saw that had Wemby at the top of that list.
But we don't know if those guys aren't voting for him because he's a rookie or because the Spurs were a 22-win team.
Or both.
Well, it might be both. But, and again, if I had a vote, I'm not holding it against Wemby that he's a rookie, but I am holding 22 wins against him. I could not, in good conscience, vote for a player for a postseason award like that for a team who plays on a team that has 22 wins.
I mean, that's a great point, too. And what I don't understand, and I really don't, and I will credit RJ Ochoa for bringing this up, and he joined me on the Blitz on Friday when you were sitting on the beach. Do you remember who won Defensive Player of the Year in 2003?
No.
No. Do you care?
No.
So why is everybody so butthurt that he's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year? I don't understand it. You're not going to remember 5 years from now.
Do you remember who won MVP in 2004?
No.
5?
No.
No, I mean.
That's what I mean.
Prisoner of the moment. We like to say our player has won this, and this. That's why we get, caught up in it. I mean, bottom line, it's postseason awards. I am always quick when I hear so many Pro Bowls for a player. All right, well, I don't give a damn about Pro Bowls. How many All-Pro selections do you have? Because, a lot of people make Pro Bowls because this guy dropped out, this guy dropped out, this guy dropped out, so you get in. So as you're telling me your resume, I want to listen for the things that matter. Does he make the All-NBA defensive first team?
I think there's a good chance of that.
Or second team. He might make second team, yet he's a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to explain if you have Wemby as first team all defensive player and not Rudy Gobert. If Gobert actually, that's going to be kind of dumb, right? So you got to figure he's going to finish second in that vote.
Yeah. The other part of this survey that I found, outside of a lot of people don't like to come and play at the Frost Bank Center, is we think about free agents coming to San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
We think about the idea of people that will check their ego at the door and come get coached hard by a Greg Popovich. There is a question on here that, and I'm scrolling down to find it. Which current coach, aside from your own, would you most want to play for? Eric Spoelstra gets number 1. Greg Popovich, number 2.
There you go. And this is from players. Look, I don't want to come to San Antonio because there's nothing to do BS is just that. BS. You get paid. You're going to have a chance to play with a generational player.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. Friday afternoon at a charity event, Dak Prescott was talking about his future in a way we have not heard Dak talk before. We'll dive into what the Cowboys' current quarterback had to say as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What a hailstorm we had overnight Saturday, right? I saw pictures all over the place, quarter-size hail, just some big hailstorms. I mean, coming down all over the place, and you don't know what that's done to your roof. And my good friend Jason Minnick said he got 2 calls already from fly-by-night roofing companies wanting to come by and check his roof out. And you're going to get them too. You are going to get them, and don't fall for that. You want to work with somebody that has been in business in San Antonio and South Texas for a long time, that stands behind their work. That is Stevens Roofing. It's only one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. It is Stevens Roofing, because a quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing means comfort, it means confidence, and it certainly means peace of mind, protection for all the things that you love. Look, if you think your roof was damaged by the recent hailstorm, call Stevens Roofing. They'll get somebody out there, they'll check your roof, and they'll be honest with you. If you need repairs, they'll recommend repairs. If you don't, they'll say you don't. Give them a call. That's the first step. 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net. But give Stevens Roofing a call. Have them check out that roof. The phone number again, 210-785-0994.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
With the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
We don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position select.
I thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie.
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity.
We're going to the city?
Authenticity.
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic. Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to to help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-785-9545. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-785-9545 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-785-9545 to see if you qualify. That's 800-785-9545.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com. From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. If you did some grilling over the weekend, and I saw a couple of you tweeting photos that you were doing some grilling this weekend, make sure you upload those photos to the Grilling with the Blitz page at sasportstar.com, because on Thursdays, we'll judge that meat, those meat photos, and give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market.
Always good to judge meat on Thursday. Plus, Thursday is going to be a great day anyway.
Yeah.
First round of the NFL draft.
That's it. And the Blitz will be live at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, getting you ready for all the draft coverage that you can listen to here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star all weekend long. And it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do on that draft day. Now, I want them to get an offensive lineman, somebody, I don't care if it's a center, a tackle, somebody that projects to be a 10-year starter on that offensive line. That's what I want. What will Jerry give us? That could be another question. Now, I say that because Jerry this offseason has held his cards pretty close to the vest.
Yep, he has.
There's speculation. Maybe they go for a speedy wide receiver. You look at holes to fill, you think offensive lineman. Or do they do something and draft a quarterback? If they draft a quarterback, then you could pretty much write off Dak Prescott at this point, can't you?
Yeah. If they draft a quarterback early like that, I would think so. Or I don't know about late. Perhaps.
No, it would have to be day one or day two, because Dak Prescott, speaking at a charity event on Friday night, literally said no contract talks have actually seriously begun at this point.
Honestly, I'm focused on the moment, on the now. If the talks begin and real talks get to happen, sure, we can talk about getting that done. But in this case right now, honestly, I'm worried about just getting better, being better tomorrow than I am at this moment. So leaving that up to my agent and Jerry at this point. And when those talks begin, I'll be more involved, obviously. So
no talks to that. Are you surprised with no talks to that?
No, I mean, I've been in conversation. I've talked to Jerry, and so I understand where we are, obviously. And Jerry's mentioned the same, so there's not any gray area in that sense. So, yeah.
He talked about the cap and all the situations and why they're not doing it.
We had a great conversation. We had a great conversation that put us aligned and where we are and moving forward, or where we are in this moment, I should say. And we'll address moving forward as that comes about.
You got to give some respect to Clarence Hill because
he's trying.
He gave it the kind of get that out of him. And Dak's a pro when it comes to the interview process.
All right. So conversations have been had. Dak has talked to Jerry directly and seems very comfortable with the current situation and why there's no movement. Dak does not seem frustrated that they haven't progressed. He understands whatever Jerry's explained on why it's not done yet. Whatever that conversation was like, Dak certainly seems at peace with it.
Publicly.
Publicly.
He does. Yes.
Well, I mean, at least for now, I can only go with what the man said.
Publicly.
You know, he also said for the very first time that if he's not in at Dallas, well, that's cool too.
I'm not gonna say I fear being here or not. I don't fear either situation. To be candid with you, I love this game and love to play and love to better myself as a player and my teammates around me. Right now, it's with the Dallas Cowboys. It's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and that's the focus. And after the season, we'll see where we're at, and if the future holds that, then if not, we'll go from there.
Interesting. And that's a great response too. I mean, it's like that's exactly what you should say.
But that's the first time that Dak has talked about being comfortable playing for another organization. It's always been, I've wanted to be a Cowboy. I'm glad to be a Cowboy. I'm happy here. Things are going to work out. You know, the last time he spoke at that charity event, the pre-event press conference, things were going to work out. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so that's that is the first time that I recall Dak ever saying, here or anywhere else, I'm good. Yeah, I'm getting $60 million regardless. Just where's it coming from? That's the first time publicly that I've heard Dak Prescott say here or somewhere else. And I find that very interesting.
I find it interesting too. And I think Dak might just be getting tired of the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys. And he just might be tired of it. And I think there's a lot of things to that. I really do. Not only the contract negotiations, he looks at what's been happening this offseason, and it's not good.
Well, I mean, look, there are a lot of inactivity this offseason for sure.
I don't want to say I'm puzzled. Obviously, I understand. I'm focused on the guys that we have. I know we got a lot of great guys, a lot of good that's returning in that locker room. And I say good, but great, and young guys that are good that are making that next step. So obviously, have faith in those guys. Always done well in the draft and bringing some guys in. So hopefully that'll make a big impact. And I think right now for me, it's about just focusing on the locker room and pouring into those guys. And I don't control that side and making those moves. So I'm not going to put too much thought and angst into it, I guess, and what we're doing and how we're getting that done, rather than just how I can invest in the guys and make sure that they're getting better and holding myself accountable to do the same.
Again, Dak Prescott's the king of saying the right thing.
Yep.
But if you're a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys or any player, veteran player in the Dallas Cowboys, you got to be looking around going, we're not a better football team right now than we were in January. And that's got to be concerning to any of them.
Well, especially the quarterback. I mean, everybody on that roster is probably looking around saying, well, what are we doing? But if you're the quarterback, you're the one that gets credit or blame, and mostly blame. Mostly blame.
And rightly so.
When things don't go well, right? So Dak's probably looking around going, we're going to be worse, and I'm going to take all the heat for it, which is why they get paid, which is why I also found it interesting that Dak sort of started to say he doesn't want to be the highest paid necessarily, but he's going to be the highest paid.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be the highest paid necessarily. So I'll wait until negotiations begin, and obviously want to put this team in the best situation. So
again, saying all the right things, but that necessarily is a big word.
Well, I mean, is he hedging his bet? He's not lying to us. Is he expecting a total contract like what Patrick Mahomes has? No. And I think that's what he's saying. What's the highest paid contract right now? Is he looking for highest paid on an annual? It might be over a shorter period of time than some of those other contracts that have been signed. So total might be not highest paid, but yearly might be highest paid. That was A1 negotiating in the media. Hear what you want to hear, but listen to what I'm saying. Speak from one Dak Prescott.
Well, sure. And look, again, so if somebody's going to pay him that, whether it's in Dallas or whether it's somebody else, because there will be teams fighting over Dak Prescott's services if he's not a member of the Dallas Cowboys. I just think, look, and we sit here and talk, and we've been talking about it for 6 months since the season ended. I guess it hadn't quite been that long.
It feels like we've been talking about Dak's contract for 5 years.
But we always say, what's Jerry waiting for? What's Jerry waiting for? Maybe he's waiting on Dak Prescott, and maybe Dak Prescott might want to just see what else is out there and available to him and what kind of offers he's going to get as a free agent.
Outside of the one comment, we'll see what happens, which does make me wonder. Well, I still think a deal probably gets done in August somewhere at training camp. And until August passes and there's no deal, I'm going to believe that unless there's a deal done ahead of time. But that one comment that he made about, we'll see what happens at the end of this year. Dak has bet on himself before, a couple of times, playing on the tag. Will he play this season without a contract and then give the Cowboys an opportunity to get a new deal done before he actually hits free agency? I don't see that happening. If you go to this point, you might as well go through the courting process and see what else is out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's incumbent, if Jerry truly does believe that Dak is the guy, that he gets a deal done before the start of the season.
Well, sure, you would think so. But when does Jerry ever do anything that seems right or seems commonsensical? Because this should have been done before free agency started if Dak is the guy. So you could be a player in the free agent market and improve this football team.
But we say that the Cowboys historically aren't big players in free agency.
Well, they're never like they are now.
Well,
this has been ridiculous.
And again, if the money's earmarked, they know that these deals have to get done. Some teams pay early, some teams pay late. Everybody has a different philosophy. We've seen the Cowboys pay some guys early. Waiting seems to cost you more. Waiting is going to cost them more with the CD Lamb. If Justin Jefferson gets that deal done, and it could happen before the draft, according to some reports. But for the Cowboys, this offseason has been so puzzling because of the lack of movement. And listening to Steven this week last week doesn't make you feel any better about what their plan is, other than these guys are ready to go, that they've developed, and we'll wait and see. I just think you've got too many young players that you're banking on being able to be the contributors you think they are. Some of them will be, some of them won't be. I mean, that's just the nature of odds, right? You've got too many young players that you think are going to all step up and perform well at the same time. Man, that seems pretty high risk, doesn't it?
And they're very reliant on this draft. They're very reliant on this draft. And some of those players have got to come in and step up too. And for a team that has the star power that they have, and the three players that you're talking about, it just seems to me, if you are indeed going to let Dak walk, then just say the hell with it and go all in this year. Try to get that Super Bowl championship. And that's what's so baffling about this. Not only is he not signing any free agents or signing the three big players that they have, and we'll leave Mike out of it, say the two, CD and Dak. It is baffling. And then for this team not to be any better, in fact, worse than they were when they walked off the field against the Green Bay Packers, it's just puzzling. And I don't know where Jerry's going with this thing or what the thought process is. Sure, they have a plan, but man, I tell you what, I cannot for the life of me figure out what it is.
None of it makes sense, and maybe at some point it will. Now, whether it's the way I would approach it or not, I'm speculating on what the plan is. You've got CD for another year. You've got Dak for another year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to spend $30 million on a wide receiver per year if you don't have a deal done with Dak Prescott? So if we get Dak's deal done, then you can get CD's done. You don't do those in reverse order, because if that's what their thinking is, get Dak done, and then we can take care of CD. If it costs them a little bit more money, it costs them a little bit more money. But I'm not going to have a high-priced wide receiver and Cooper Rush as my quarterback, or a rookie quarterback that is learning how to get him the ball. And I still think, to a degree, wide receiver salaries are getting so inflated that drafts are full of great wide receivers. You can replace a CD Lamb-ish, right? CD's a great wide receiver, but you can replace a receiver a hell of a lot easier than you can replace a quarterback.
See, I look at it just completely the opposite. I could see them signing CD Lamb and still letting Dak walk because you need somebody, especially a rookie quarterback or a backup quarterback, whoever you have needs a guy that he can depend on out there. So I look at it completely different. I could see them signing CD first and then still letting Dak walk. You bring in another guy, you've already got a number one wide receiver ready to roll. So I don't look at that as a pair. I really don't. I mean, unless you're just going to blow the whole thing up and get everybody done. But still, if you're going with a rookie quarterback, you need a guy that is a quality wide receiver, and CD Lamb would be that guy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm just trying to make sense of what the Cowboys are doing, and none of it makes sense.
Good luck.
None of it makes sense, which is why, all right, maybe they're thinking this, maybe they're thinking that, because none of it makes sense. To be this inactive during this time of year just seems baffling.
It is.
To think, all right, we're going to have to hit on every one of our draft picks, and they're all going to be contributors next year. And then we're going to be really good like we typically are on the undrafted market and get some of those guys and count on them and be a Super Bowl contending team. None of that makes sense.
It's just the complete opposite of what they did last year, for example, with the two trades that they made with Gilmore and Cooks, and they've done none of that. And so it is baffling, to say the least.
It very, very much so. The draft Thursday night, the Blitz will be live out at the Roo Pub there at 281 in Redland Road. And the Roo Pub has proven over the last decade to be the place to go. Watch any big game, any big event with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food there is fantastic, all made from scratch. They got the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, including the original Wendy burger. Great salads, I'm told, great appetizers. And more importantly, that kitchen is open late till 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. So when you need that late night meal, don't go to a drive-through. Get into the Roo Pub there at 281 and Redland Road. They do have happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant, the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
You're locked on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Are your windows struggling to keep up with the game? It's time to upgrade with Maverick Windows. Stay ahead of the competition with energy-efficient windows. Call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631. That's 800-972-3631 to get a free quote.
Everyday Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it. And at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Play ball!
Missions Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz with the NBA playoffs here. You want to get in on the action and have fun watching the games the way I do? Make sure you download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing their pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. You create your own experience. It's a ton of fun to play. I love winning on the pick'em game, obviously. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So get signed up at UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Big trade in the NFL today. The New York Jets have traded former number 2 overall pick quarterback Zach Wilson to the Denver Broncos. 2 teams will swap late-round draft picks. Basketball tonight, the Cavs and the Magic. That is game 2. It all tips off at 6 o'clock. Knicks and the 76ers. The Knicks with a 1-0 lead there, 6:30 from Madison Square Garden. And the Nuggets-Lakers tonight at 9 o'clock.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the 3rd time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on this Monday afternoon. If you're listening on the radio, appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Maybe you're watching on at YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel.
Appreciate you listening there.
Is your camera going to start watching again?
It's working.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's see on there.
Oh. I guess I need to go back into StreamYard.
You got to go back in.
My computer died right before because we had a power strip here that I didn't realize was not plugged in. I mean, how does that happen?
Well, the engineer was in here working.
Uh-huh.
He's just seeing if you're paying attention.
Okay. Well, apparently I'm not.
Well, for the record, I was plugged into an outlet that wasn't plugged in either. You know, the power strips, that what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my computer. Like, you need to plug your computer in. It's about to die.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, well, it is plugged in.
Yeah. Well, it was plugged in, but the plug-in thing wasn't plugged in.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Come on, man. You can always comment on the YouTube channel if you're watching there. You can always dial up 210-656-ESPN 656-3776, or you can tweet us at Joe Reinagel 210. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. And We're getting hammered right now on Twitter. Although, like, at King It Knit tweets at Jason Minix, I wonder if Joe is so confident about Wemby not winning DPOY that he would bet 1,000 on it. Tell Mr. Ken's 5 to please silence himself. So King It Nitwit,
what's his name?
At Joe Reinagle 210.
Yes.
See, you can, you can tweet at him. I don't want to say you didn't have the balls to. Maybe you didn't realize it was at Joe Reinagle 210.
I'm sure he didn't realize it.
Yeah, I'm
sure it's got to be. Yeah, I'm not a scary guy.
No.
I mean, you disagree with me, that's great. Let me know.
Although I do find it interesting when people tweet at me, tell Joe this, or when people tweet at Joe, tell Jason that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the stones to do it. And a lot of you, Eric B., which I've known him for a long time. He's been a long time listener. Fred B., S.A., all these people, Austin for keep, that 22 wins shouldn't matter. Wemby should win the award. For me personally, and I don't have a vote, I would not vote for a postseason award for a guy on a team with 22 wins. Now, I realize I want Wemby to win because he's a Spur and I'm a homer, but I would not vote if I had a vote for that. If we were talking about another player on a 22-win team, I think all of you would be saying the exact same thing. The team wasn't very good. Yes, it's an individual award, but the team was not very good. How do you give an award to a player like that? For example, would you give MVP to a guy that wasn't on a good team?
No.
Has it ever happened that the MVP or any of these major postseason awards have gone to a player that was a lottery team and not a playoff team?
Well, Rookie of the Year is going to go to Wemby.
That's the only one.
That's
That's the only exception to the wins rule. Yes, it's an individual award, but it's about impacting overall team. And these great numbers, you can't, basically everybody else on the team sucks. But you're the same person that says, well, we can't get rid of Devin. You can't get rid of Keldon. You can't get rid of Jeremy. You can't get rid of, but the rest of the team sucks. That's why we only had 22 wins. It's not Wemby's fault.
It's not Wemby's fault?
No.
Why is it not Wemby's fault? Is he not a member of the team?
Well, I'm just saying he has no help.
I'm just wondering. I mean, is it?
He has no help. But we don't want to get, but you're the same people that don't want to get rid of certain players to make this team better. And again, we can agree to disagree. If I had a vote, would I have Wemby on my ballot? Yes. First place? No. He does deserve, I think, to be on the ballot with his incredible individual defensive play.
Absolutely.
But to win a trophy, to win an award, no.
Look, there's some unwritten rules in the NBA. I didn't make the rules.
Well, the rookie has nothing to do with it.
It has everything
all the
to do
people
with
that are
it.
hammering you, Joe, about the rookie comments, I'm with them.
Well, it has everything to do with it. Why hasn't a rookie won it before? There are rookies that were deserving to win it before because it's one of those unwritten things that rookies just don't win that award. It is, and it's not my rule. I don't have a vote, but it is an unwritten rule. Now, will that rule change? Perhaps. One day it will. I'm just saying it goes against him at this particular point in time. I didn't make that up. I'm just stating the facts. And those are the facts at this point in time. Rookies don't win that award. They never have.
Rookies have it. And
sure.
if this were a 40-win team, a 45-win team, a 50-win team, I think a rookie does win it.
Well,
but not on a 22-win team.
Perhaps he does. But it hasn't happened yet. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen again. Now, if you want to change that and have a Pledge told me I had a platform and I had to get on the bandwagon and do all that. And I'm like,
for what?
To get a rookie to win this thing, Victor Wembanyama. So I'm like, okay. Hey, voters, stop being so dumb. I mean, I just don't see what the big deal is. I mean, I honestly don't. The guy's great. The guy is great. He's going to have a trophy closet full of Defensive Player of the Year awards. I don't understand why Spurs fans, this is so important to them that Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year. I don't get it.
Because we only had 22 wins.
Well,
it's something.
I guess.
And again, rookie of the year.
That you will forget about 2 years from now.
Well, no.
Yes.
We won't.
Well, we will.
We won't.
We will.
We'll be like, that's his 17th rookie of the year, or rookie of the year, 17th rookie of the year, 17th defensive player of the year.
I'm just saying.
In my mind, rookie has nothing to do with that.
It
22 wins.
You're sticking your head in the sand if you don't think it has something to do with it. It does. Otherwise, a rookie would have won it before. It has something to do with it. Can it change? Should it be changed? Perhaps. But it hasn't happened. And it does not appear at this moment in time that it's going to happen this year.
Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
So the Texas Longhorns had their spring game over the weekend.
Yeah, they did.
That Arch Manning guy's pretty good.
He is.
He's really good.
So why do we want to wait another year before he's the starter?
Because we have a legit Heisman contender right now in Quinn Ewers, who's the starter.
Well, I hope they're going to let them compete. Or do you just anoint Quinn as the starter?
Well, I think Quinn, as the incumbent, is the starter going in. There is competition, obviously, but the development in 1 year for Arch from last spring game to this spring game is incredible.
Ginormous.
355 yards, 3 touchdowns in the spring game. Quinn Ewers tends to get hurt. Solid backup, but I do think because Quinn Ewers is a legit Heisman contender, he's probably going to start. But if he struggles or when he gets hurt or whatever, but the future in Austin, my goodness, Arch Manning looked incredible by all accounts.
Well, I wonder how long that future is going to be, though. I mean, if Arch Manning, say, doesn't start this year, he starts as a redshirt sophomore in 2025, has a great year. What's to stop him from saying, I'm going to the draft?
It's certainly possible. You might only end up with 1 year from him. Although the Manning plan does seem to be working. And I don't think at this point you have to worry about either one of those guys hitting the portal. Arch seems the development from Sark, which is what he went there for, he is getting it. And waiting another year doesn't seem to be an issue because we know Quinn will be gone after this year. Then Arch is going to take over. But man, I'm a big fan of you have a quarterback. If you've got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. But the idea next year of getting some playing time for Arch in meaningful games, I wouldn't be surprised if Sark is able to roll that into the playbook. I mean, I know it was Longhorns against Longhorns, but man, they look good going into the SEC.
And they do. I mean, they've got a lot of talent, and they're going to have a good team. I just there's going to be that call because there's going to be that fan base. As soon as Quinn Ewers throws an interception,
yep,
you're going to hear it. Arch, where's Arch Manning? We need Arch Manning. It's going to happen. So just get ready for it. I'm just saying, I hope, and look, Sark is a good coach. I just hope there is a legit competition in camp. And if Quinn Ewers wins the job, great. But if Arch Manning looks better, he ought to play.
With what you know about Sark, I think that's what would happen.
I hope so.
And knowing college football the way it is today, which seems so bizarre, if you're Sark, you gotta ride with the guy that you've got at least 2 years with, as opposed to the guy who's on his way out. If Arch is the better quarterback, last year Arch wasn't the better quarterback.
No,
and Quinn Ewers literally has won the job and is a legit Heisman contender. If he wasn't that high up, if he wasn't coming in with the resume that he has, I think Arch probably is the starter and Quinn transfers somewhere else. I mean, Sark is dealing with some serious RPPs.
Well, I think Quinn realized that this is a very quarterback-heavy draft this year, and he'll be better off entering the draft next year. I mean, you look at it that way. What are there, 6 legit quarterbacks in this draft?
Yeah.
That, could go
Well,
very early.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he's back.
That's what I'm saying.
You
I
know?
think he looked at that and said, I'd be better off going into the draft next year.
Speaking of quarterbacks, the Vikings and Falcons tampering situation could be resolved this week. Remember all the tampering with Kirk Cousins?
It could be resolved as early as today at some point in time. The fact that it hasn't makes me believe it won't be, but they're going to get a slap on the wrist. I mean, come on. You can't have your ice cream today, so deal with it.
I saw a great stat yesterday, a very unofficial stat from Jared Sandler from Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Yeah.
The Rangers beat the Braves last night. Kirk Cousins threw out the first pitch.
He did.
It was a primetime game.
Uh-huh.
Kirk Cousins now 13-24 in his career in primetime games. They gave him a loss for the Rangers win last night.
Well, that's so clever of them.
It was.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Wasn't that funny?
That's hilarious. Did he throw a strike? That's what I want to know.
I have no idea.
Hopefully he threw a strike, at least.
I would think.
I think he's going to do well in Atlanta if he stays healthy and depending on his recovery. I think he'll do well there.
Yeah. And Tom Brady is about to get roasted.
I love this, and I can't wait to watch it. I think it comes out May 5th on Netflix. It's going to be one of those like Comedy Central type roasts.
Tom Brady getting roasted.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's going to host. I haven't seen who all the celebrity roasters are going to be. I got to believe Gronk is going to be right up there.
You would think so.
Man, I would love to see the newest TV personality, Bill Belichick, get up there and really roast them some. But it will be very interesting to see how personal they get.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, man, those roasts get extremely uncomfortable.
Yes, they do.
I'm surprised Tom Brady is willing to put himself through this.
You know, I don't know. Brady, I think he's got pretty thick skin. It's going to be fun. He's probably getting a truckload of money.
Probably.
To do it.
Yeah,
so, I mean, why not?
That.
Why not?
Definitely no probably about that. A quarterback has been traded in the NFL. You got to be kidding me. I don't know what the hell Sean Payton is thinking. We'll dive in to his latest quarterback in probably the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Maybe the worst quarterback room in NFL history. We're talking about it next year on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
With the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number one? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
We all expect our home to protect everything we love. But here in Texas, we don't expect the ways water is breaking down our foundations and damaging our homes. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is shifting. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Foundation Support Specialists. Make sure your investment is protected. Get your free inspection at FoundationSupportSpecialists.com.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players. Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big, big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagel210. Tweet at me, at Jason Minix. You can dial up 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You know, over the next couple of days, you've got a lot of teams doing their new uniform reveals. We've already seen some. And what I could tell is if you're a fan of the team, you're going to lose your mind in excitement.
Right.
Like just the little nuggets that the Texans have dropped. Pledge is having pledge-gasms constantly, right?
Well, that's tomorrow, by the way.
And that is tomorrow. Yeah. And I expect Pledge not to be here mentally. He's going to be shopping all day long. You know, just the idea of a face mask and watching him explode all over Twitter was just ridiculous. The Broncos had their uniform reveal today. And there's one Bronco fan that I know is Matt Roy from Channel 4.
Okay.
And Matt's all in love with these new uniforms. And I'm looking at him going, well, they suck. I'm not a fan of the Broncos' new look. I'm just not. There's nothing. I'm like, all right. Okay. But he's tweeting, but like, all right, Matt, relax, buddy. And then the Broncos took their new uniforms, much more UTSA feel today than they did yesterday, and they added in a quarterback, Zach Wilson. So I don't know what's worse. They've added Zach Wilson, or Zach Wilson's got to wear those uniforms, but the Broncos have the worst quarterback room in the NFL, maybe in NFL history, with now Ben DiNucci, Jarrett Stidham, and Zach Wilson.
Well, the rumor has it they're going to try and draft somebody coming up this weekend. So we'll see what they do there. But I agree. And I don't know what it is about Zach Wilson, but he has everybody convinced that he just has not reached his potential yet. He's a very talented quarterback who just needs a change of scenery. And look, I can kind of see part of that. Zach Wilson in that New York media market gets hammered. Denver will be a little bit lighter, I think, when it comes to that, sort of. But you're gonna have a competition, at least between him and Stidham for the starting job this year.
It's insane, and maybe, just maybe, a change of scenery is what Zach Wilson needs. Maybe. Working with a quarterback guru like Sean Payton.
Oh my gosh.
What's the matter, Joe?
I'm sorry. I almost lost my cookies.
Almost.
Yeah.
Joe loves Sean Payton.
Oh, I do.
He also knows there's a ticklish little pitch coming up.
Yes. Drew Brees was nothing without Sean Payton. The guy had no talent whatsoever. None.
San Diego thought so.
No talent whatsoever.
It'll be interesting. And then you look at the compensation. And giving up a fourth for Trey Lance seems even worse today.
Yes, it does.
That entire quarterback class, as we get ready for the draft, keep this in mind, is the draft is right around the corner, but Trevor Lawrence is still with the Jaguars and is probably going to get an extension. Zach Wilson has now been traded to the Broncos, Trey Lance to the Cowboys, Justin Fields traded to the Steelers, and Mac Jones traded to the Jaguars to back up Trevor Lawrence.
Quite the draft class.
Woo.
Yeah. And that's what makes, like, even this year. And we all think, right? We all think that these quarterbacks are the greatest things to ever come out of college. And of the 6, I wouldn't be surprised if 4 of them are busts and just don't make it. Now, you can put whatever 4 you want, but it's just the way it works. At least half, 50% of those guys will be traded away and the same thing all over again.
It's interesting, and I don't know if I should give teams credit for realizing mistake and just moving on. And with the rookie salary scale being what it is, and this goes all the way back to Sam Bradford basically getting $50 million in a signing bonus and being a bust, that they said, well, we got to fix this.
Yeah.
That now, if you do make the mistake with a high draft pick, you get rid of them and basically start over. Now, your organization is no better off than it was when you picked, and you realize that you have to pick the best available quarterback in that year's draft, because you don't know when you're going to pick that high again. And if you get it wrong, you're screwed for the next 3 or 4 years until you get a chance to try again.
Isn't that the problem, though, with a lot of these young quarterbacks? They're being drafted by teams that have no talent around them, and they're coming in and being expected to be the savior of a franchise. That's what happened to Justin Fields in Chicago. He was expected to be the savior.
And it will happen to Caleb Williams.
And most likely Caleb Williams, yes. And a lot of these guys. I mean, can you imagine if they're talking about the kid from North Carolina going to New England? Talking about no talent. How the hell is he supposed to succeed there? I mean, it's just it makes it tough on these guys. That's why a guy like Jordan Love is, you see the product you're getting now, because he had the opportunity to sit behind a quarterback and learn the game. And most of these guys need that.
Well, even Patrick Mahomes sat a year behind Alex Smith.
That's exactly right.
and got some education.
Tom Brady.
So, but Tom Brady was a 6th-round guy. I mean,
Sure.
Even Dak is a 4th-round guy. Those guys aren't necessarily brought in to be the savior. But if you draft a quarterback in the top 10, or you've got a 1st-round quarterback, you look at like Mac Jones, who was 15th. The idea was, all right, you're going to be the guy. If you're a 1st-round quarterback, you're expected to be the future face of that particular franchise. And so many resources go into that guy that if that's not your guy and that's not your guy, it's easy to move on from him.
Yeah.
At this point.
Sure.
I mean, you look at Trey Lance, he beat out a Sam Darnold and a Trey Lance, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes, he did.
Sam Darnold's still somewhere in the league, right?
Minnesota. Yeah, he's going to be Minnesota's starting quarterback
until
this
they find another one.
Well, they are looking for one, but again, I think Darnold probably plays quarterback this year, even if Minnesota drafts a quarterback. And just that year's time, I think, is huge for these young guys when they don't have to come into a team that just sucks, and the fans expect them to be the savior. The media expects them to be the savior, and when they don't do it, wow, they're a bust. They're horrible. And maybe that's not the case, and that may very well be the case with Zach Wilson. He was expected to be the savior of a very bad New York Jets football team, and he couldn't get it done.
And it was a questionable pick to begin with.
It was.
I mean, it wasn't, there were, of all of these quarterbacks, so many mixed assessments of Zach Wilson coming out of BYU on whether he could be the guy or not. And to a lot of degrees, it was like when Baker went number 1 overall. Was he a consensus top overall draft pick? I mean, Caleb Williams to a degree is one of those consensus guys. Trevor Lawrence was one of those consensus guys. But, last year it was a dude in Carolina, and everybody, including James Fletcher, wanted him in Houston, and they got stuck with this CJ Stroud guy.
I know.
Boy, sometimes things work out, even if that's not what you really wanted.
And sometimes a quarterback like CJ Stroud gets lucky, right? To go to an organization like Houston, who just hired one hell of a coach. He's got a GM who is forward thinking and put some talent around this kid. He played well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from CJ Stroud, but it's a much better situation for CJ in Houston than it would have been if he ends up in Carolina. And then we'd be talking about Bryce Young being, see, I told you, he was the number 1 guy, goes to Houston, and look how great he is. It's the situation a lot of times for these young quarterbacks that make all the difference in the world.
I think situations everywhere. And again, if you think you've got that quarterback, because they're so hard to find, you pay them. Yet the Cowboys tell us that they have that guy in Dak Prescott. But as we sit today, there's still no extension on the table. And according to Dak Prescott, no meaningful contract negotiations to this point. Dak Prescott talked on Friday night at a charity event up in Dallas. He had some very interesting things to say, stuff we haven't heard from Dak Prescott before. We'll dive into that next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know what I love about social media? There's a lot of things to love, and you learn things. But the one thing that I love here lately is seeing all the social media posts from Parkhurst New Vision. They put up the posts, and it's satisfied patients, and they're raving about the service that they got and how great their vision is now. And I'm one of those guys. I am a member of that Parkhurst New Vision community, and I couldn't be happier about it. My vision is better now than it's been in 30 years. And you see the same thing from every social media post after a patient leaves there and realizes that, their eyesight is just so much better. Look, you can be a part of that community as well. Just give Parkhurst New Vision a call, 210-585-2020. You can check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com as well. When you call them, you set up your consultation. You go in there, you ask your questions. They will describe to you what they're going to do, how the process works, and you're just going to feel like a member of the family as soon as you walk through that door. That's the special place that Dr. Parkhurst has created. It's unbelievable. Go check them out. Do yourself a favor. Stop with the readers and the glasses and all of that kind of stuff. Let them fix your eyes. Let them do for you what they've done for me and so many others. The first step, though, you got to give them a call. Do that today. 210-585-2020.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are in full force. How those Nuggets looking? That Minnesota defense looks solid. Rumor has it lots of players want to play with Victor Wembanyama, but what kind of player is required? And oh, by the way, the draft is Thursday night. Likely suspects for all our favorite teams. That's the Morning Huddle. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Feel that heat? That's how it should feel when you're outdoors watching your favorite team coming up to bat, not in your home. Call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631. That's 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy-efficient windows.
Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women in the U.S. will encounter physical abuse from an intimate partner, and violence against children persist. Christie's Hope strives to overcome domestic violence by providing critical financial support to shelters that offer housing, healing, and preventative measures. Thomas J. Henry proudly collaborates with Christie's Hope in the shared mission to end domestic violence and empower victims. Join us in building a legacy of hope. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Missions Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard has escaped,
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Nigel, what's up with your hair?
Joe, prices are insane these days. I'm cutting my own hair.
Folks, nobody likes paying high prices. Good news, for a limited time, all quarter moon 14-seer AC systems up to 3 tons are installed in your house for only $69.99. Now is the ideal time to take care of your home at the lowest price of the year.
Joe, I like saving money. I'm an influencer. Everywhere I go, people hand me change and say, bless your heart.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M16004. DACLA 000743458.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows
and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app. From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
That's some happy music, Pledge, fired up there. Just kind of get you moving a little bit.
I was trying to figure out what the hell it was.
Well, I don't know, but it was catchy.
Well, it was, but it seemed like the kind of music like Big Voice Guy was going to drop in with, I don't know, catch the NFL draft Thursday here. I was
Right.
just waiting for something like that.
That's not on Green Day's new album?
No.
Okay.
Or Pearl Jam's new album,
Pearl
for that
Jam
matter.
is Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam is the one
Pearl
that released
Jam,
the
Green
new album.
Day. How do you keep track?
Well, it's easy.
Yeah.
One on Taylor Swift's either.
Yeah, or hers either.
Did you listen to Taylor's new album?
I have not done that
You
yet.
apparently you're the only one.
Apparently. Have you?
No.
Well, I guess you and I are the only ones.
Well,
how about you, Pledge? You've listened to it? Of course you have. Pledge.
I did. In all fairness, on the plane, I did, pull it up and see what all was going on and kind of scrolled through a couple.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to the whole thing. Like the entire new Pearl Jam record, Dark Matter.
Uh-huh.
I've listened to it in its entirety 3 times already.
Wow.
And we'll probably listen to it on the way home tonight. Sorry, Pledge. Actually, that's a lie. It's Monday, so I'll be on the phone with my mother.
Well, that's nice of you. You're a good son.
I'll listen to it again at some point tonight, maybe late tonight. Open up a nice cold beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good record. It's a really good Pearl Jam record.
It's awesome.
What are you apologizing to me for?
What do you mean?
You said sorry, Pledge.
Because I was going to listen to that and not extra innings with Pledge on my way home.
Well, there is no extra innings with Pledge tonight. We got NBA basketball.
We do.
6 o'clock.
See, Voice Guy should have said that right there over that intro music.
We do. We have the Knicks game, I believe. Knicks and Sixers.
Nice.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, 6 o'clock.
Nice.
Right after the Blitz.
Good. I had no idea. I guess I should have looked, or it would have been on our promo sheet or something.
Well, I look because it's in my sports center.
Well, yeah.
So that's how I know.
I'd say I'm still on beach time, but I'm not.
No.
I was a little disappointed to get off the plane last night and it was cold.
Yeah.
And I woke up this morning and it was still cold.
It's a little chilly out there.
Yeah.
Chilly.
What's up with that?
Hey, who knows?
Seems kind of chilly between the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, at least as far as the contract negotiations that are going on or not going on as we speak right now. I am not surprised that a deal is not done yet. Deadlines make deals with Jerry Jones. It's been that way for a long time. And there's no deadline right now. And it does take 2 to get a deal done. Dak Prescott speaking at a charity event Friday night in Dallas says at this point, there haven't really been any serious or significant contract negotiations, if you will, between him and the Cowboys.
Honestly, I'm focused on the moment, on the now. The talks begin and real talks get to happen. Sure, we can talk about getting that done. But in this case right now, honestly, I'm worried about just getting better, being better tomorrow than I am at this moment. So leaving that up to my agent and Jerry at this point. And when those talks begin, I'll be more involved, obviously.
So no talks. Are you surprised with no talks?
No, I mean, I've been in conversation. I've talked to Jerry, and so I understand where we are, obviously. And Jerry's mentioned the same, so there's not any gray area in that sense. So, yeah.
He talked about the cap and all the situations and why they're not doing it.
We had a great conversation. We had a great conversation that put us aligned and where we are and moving forward, or where we are in this moment, I should say. And we'll address moving forward as that comes about.
Clarence Hill trying his best. trying his best to get something out of Dak. Dak ought to teach a class, and I mean this in all sincerity, on how to deal with the media.
You know, yeah, he's buttoned up. He gives you enough, but he doesn't give you the full story.
Nor should he.
Now you take what Dak Prescott said. No real contract negotiations. Has talked with Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
He has talked with Jerry,
Yes.
not his agent. He has talked with Jerry. And I get a feeling that the deal gets worked out between the agent and Steven and, I don't know, some suits that do math. And he seems to be understanding of Jerry's current situation on why a deal is not done, as it relates to the cap, as it relates to the timing, as it relates to all of it, right? I mean, I don't want to say he's on board with it because I don't know that. He didn't tell us that. But he had a conversation with Jerry about where things stand. If you listen to that, carefully, there's no surprise. There's no seemingly unhappiness or ill will. He's not angry about it, at least publicly. And he's on board. I would say on board. He's understanding with the timing of everything that's going on as we sit right now.
Well, if you're Dak Prescott, you got nothing to lose. If you re-sign with Dallas, you're going to make a lot of money. You go out on the free agent market, you're going to make a lot of money. Dak has nothing to lose, and it's all in his favor. So I would be happy to, and maybe he wants to stay the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants to see what else is out there and who needs a quarterback, and maybe he needs a fresh start, a breath of fresh air, if you will. Because, look, Dak Prescott, and I'm one of those guys, gets hammered quite a bit. Not just by me, former teammates.
Oh, yeah.
Former Cowboys, media, everybody. And if you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, it kind of goes with the territory.
It not kind of. It goes with the territory, but and it's not just quarterback of the Cowboys, although that is the one position that probably has the biggest spotlight in all of sports. But every quarterback, all 32 teams, every quarterback takes a lot of heat.
As they should. They make a lot of money.
They make all the money, and that comes with the territory. It's part of the job description. But let's hear that one again. I want to hear it again. So let's kind of dissect what Dak says, especially when Clarence is acting like the dentist and really trying to dig that good stuff out of there.
Honestly, I'm focused on the moment, on the now. The talks begin and real talks get to happen. Sure, we can talk about getting that done. But in this case right now, honestly, I'm worried about just getting better, being better tomorrow than I am at this moment. So leaving that up to my agent and Jerry at this point. And when those talks begin, I'll be more involved, obviously.
So no talks. Are you surprised with no talks?
No, I mean, I've been in conversation. I've talked to Jerry, and so I understand where we are, obviously. And Jerry's mentioned the same, so there's not any gray area in that sense. So, yeah.
He talked about the cap and all the situations and why they're not doing it.
We had a great conversation. We had a great conversation that put us aligned and where we are and moving forward, or where we are in this moment, I should say. And we'll address moving forward as that comes about.
So where we are in the moment.
They're aligned in the moment.
So obviously they've talked and Jerry has said, we're going to do this in August. We're going to do this in next March after the season. We're going to do, so they know exactly where they sit at the right now.
Yeah. They're aligned in the moment. He caught himself and corrected on the moving forward, but there are no gray area. And maybe there is something on the NFL calendar with this or that could trigger with all the timing. Who knows? But according to Dak, no gray area, great conversation, and they're aligned, right? They're aligned. So for for the Cowboy fans that have lost their minds, RJ Ochoa, Dak and Jerry seem to be good. Great conversation. They're aligned right now. That said, Dak Prescott, who grew up wanting to be a Cowboy, has always said he doesn't want to play for any other franchise, did say in the same damn press conference, yeah, I could play somewhere else.
I'm not gonna say I fear being here or not. I don't fear either situation. To be candid with you, I love this game and love to play and love to better myself as a player and my teammates around me. Right now, it's with the Dallas Cowboys. It's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and that's the focus. And after the season, we'll see where we're at, and if the future holds that, then if not, we'll go from there.
All right, did you hear that? After the season, we'll see where we're at. And maybe that's where they've got their understanding. This may not happen this year. It may not happen, if it happens, until after the season. That was a big word right there.
It very, very much so. As we go and dive in and dissect a man who is always very careful with the words he chooses. See, Jerry says a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And Greg Popovich is a guy that chooses his words very carefully when dealing with the media. Dak Prescott is that way. So is he saying that there will be no deal after the season? We're going to address this. It's possible that's what he meant. But he also, other things that it could happen, and he's comfortable. And if you're Dak, you're going to get paid. This isn't the only job out there. There's a lot of franchises that would trip all over themselves, and you would be a significant upgrade, and the fan base would appreciate you. I mean, there's a lot
until
of
he throws his first interception.
Well, again, I mean Kirk Cousins right now is, could run for mayor of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Until the season starts. I mean, the backup quarterback's always the most popular guy until he becomes the starter
or the new guy.
That's kind of how it works. I just find it interesting that Dak would actually acknowledge playing for a team not named the Dallas Cowboys.
I find it fascinating too. And I think Dak is coming to the realization that that is a distinct possibility, that he might not be a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Plus, I mean, Jason, it's one thing signing for $60 million a year with the Dallas Cowboys and not even make the playoffs. That's a possibility.
Yep.
Or getting beat again in the first round of the playoffs, because
a greater possibility.
They have not done anything in this offseason. And that's got to be a concern for Dak Prescott and everybody else for that matter.
I mean, the inactivity of the Cowboys this offseason for a guy that no gray area with Jerry, and they're aligned in the moment, knowing the pressures that come with the job, even he seems a little surprised that they haven't done more to build a better football team.
I don't want to say I'm puzzled. Obviously, I'm focused on the guys that we have. I know we got a lot of great guys, a lot of good that's returning in that locker room. And I say good, but great, and young guys that are good, that are making that next step. So obviously have faith in those guys. Always done well in the draft and bringing some guys in. So hopefully that'll make a big impact. And I think right now for me, it's about just focusing on the locker room and pouring into those guys. And I don't control that side and making those moves. So I'm not going to put too much thought and angst into it, I guess, and what we're doing and how we're getting that done, rather than just how I can invest in the guys and make sure that they're getting better and holding myself accountable to do the same.
Yeah, great statement there. And again, saying all the right things, but he must have, the start of that must have been, are you puzzled by the lack of activity? And he says, well, I wouldn't say I'm puzzled, but he is. I mean, he's got to be. He has to be, because this football team, as it sits right now, is worse than the team that limped off the field against Green Bay in the first round of the playoffs.
It is. And there's no other way to say it. Although Jerry has said, and I'm paraphrasing, that you can go spend a lot of money and bring in a lot of guys. That doesn't make you a better football team. If they're going with a less is more philosophy this offseason, we've got all these guys, we've built depth, it's time for them to step up and go. But even Dak said, good, great, good, but I don't know, man. They're guys, man. Let's see. We're pouring it all into them. I mean, we're gonna be a team leader, and we're gonna tell them when they're doing good, and we're gonna correct them when they're not. But you can't be as confident going in. I mean, I know the fan base isn't, but even in that room, I mean, you know what the drop off is. You know, if you're in a locker room, you know who should be ahead of you, who the starter should be. You know where the other guys' weaknesses are that are backups. Now, if a bunch of those guys were playing at a level in practice and whatnot a year ago and they're ready, you would know that. But Dak didn't sound confident in that answer.
Not at all.
Here's all the right things I'm supposed to say and should say as a team leader and a great teammate.
That's exactly it.
Me.
Yeah, and Dak can't be the only one. I mean, there's got to be talk and chatter amongst everybody. Because it is puzzling that the inactivity that they've had just compared to last year when Jerry went out and made some moves that surprised everybody with Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks. And they have done nothing. They bring in a linebacker who, I don't know. I mean, he's a solid linebacker, but superstar, I wouldn't say that. And then you got a retread running back that you bring in that you talk about a bad quarterback room with the Denver Broncos. That running back room with the Dallas Cowboys is horrible.
Well, it's not good.
It's horrible.
I mean, they got Deuce Vaughn.
It's horrible.
Why do you hate Deuce Vaughn?
I don't hate Deuce. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's a gadget guy. He'll return kicks.
You look at it, and there's so many questions. Now, what we don't know is did they try to make some trades and they couldn't get them done?
Right. Possible.
And I hate to assume, but do I hope that they've tried to make some moves and couldn't get them done? Because at least I know you're trying.
Of course you're hoping.
At least I know they're trying. Some of the other guys that we know that didn't even call, like a Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Baffling. Baffling.
Don't you at least have to make that phone call? I mean, at least make the call. And let the Cowboys say, we're good.
What's worse? Honestly, and again, I think both are bad, but what's worse? I think I would rather them say, that guy's going to be out of our price budget, I'm not going to waste my time, than to make the call and be told you're not in the running because your budget is nowhere near. I don't know what's I don't know what's worse, but I'd almost rather not. It's like if you're, the realtor says, well, let's go look at that house. I can't afford that house. I don't want to go look at that house and then have to settle for this one that I can't afford, knowing all the features that the house I can't afford had. So I'd almost rather not have made the phone call to Derrick Henry, if you see what I'm saying.
Well, the problem is, and maybe the Cowboys thought that, and then you see what he signed with Baltimore for, $4.5 million for 2 years, and you're thinking, Cowboys could have made that happen.
They
could have made that happen.
They could have, but
instead they liked Royce Freeman better.
I don't think
because he's making $100 grand.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
A bag of popcorn and a hot dog from Jerry's Sweet.
Hold on. They didn't like Royce Freeman better. Don't even put that out in the universe.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, no,
I'm just looking at the facts.
No, the facts is they passed on Derrick Henry and a gazillion other dudes, and Royce Freeman was still all alone in the bargain bin, and they said, well, we still need a running back. Let's pick it up and go.
Royce Freeman.
They didn't say we like Royce better than Derrick Henry.
That's almost like, a Chevrolet Malibu and Derrick Henry, and then you go for a junkyard model. Royce Freeman's played for everybody in the league.
What is a junkyard model?
It's Royce Freeman.
Well, I don't understand the analogy.
Dude, the guy he doesn't stick anywhere.
Well,
that had to be like a joke. Yeah, are they I don't know, is there cameras around? Are they punking us?
Oh, Steven said, I'm tired of hearing Joe every day say we haven't done anything. Get me a running back for $100 grand.
Oh, Royce Freeman.
There you go.
He'll play for a ham sandwich.
Yep.
We'll put him in the suite every now and then. He'll be happy.
He's not getting into the suite.
Jeez.
Not even close. You might get upper level tickets.
Yeah, Royce Freeman. Woo! That running back room's solid. Man. Rico Dowdle, the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
All I know is everybody in that running back room better put their names on their T-shirt so the coaches know who they are and they're actually on the team. If you need your name, your logo on any kind of T-shirt, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need T-shirts screen printed, go see Sam. If you need caps done with your logo on it, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom. including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, all kinds of industries, medical, restaurant, construction, schools, leagues, and so much more. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, any kind of shirt, any kind of gear. Sammy will get you taken care of. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order ticket, and all items do come with a warranty. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom down on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Riding 1604 with the Blitz.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
Don't sweat a swing and miss thanks to insurance tokens from BetMGM. Add an MLB wager to your bet slip and activate your bet insurance token. If your bet with the token applied doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets up to a specified maximum amount. That's another chance to step up to the plate and bet on the action out there on the diamond. Go to your BetMGM account today to claim your bet insurance token and get your stake back in bonus bets if your MLB wager using the token doesn't win. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks and official sports betting partner of MLB. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. This U.S. promotional offer is not available in D.C., Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, call 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, call 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
He's a former coach with 2 sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. A bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner can help your engine get more MPGs. Right now, when you buy one bottle, you can get one bottle free. A great deal to help you go a great deal farther. Find Chevron Techron and everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any one of our 6,300 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
NBA playoffs continue tonight. The Cavaliers with a 1-0 lead over the Magic. Game 2 tonight at 6. The Knicks lead the 76ers 1-0. They'll tip at 6:30 from Madison Square Garden. Nuggets look to go up 2-0 against the Lakers. They tip at 9. By the way, you can catch the Knicks-Sixers game on both 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and San Antonio's ESPN 1250 beginning at 6 o'clock tonight.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
For the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Little trombone shorty there for you.
That is.
How about that? I really enjoyed that guy. I saw him at the Majestic.
That's right, we did.
We did. He was really good. Is he better on the beach?
That's a loaded question. He was fantastic.
The answer is yes.
The answer
Everything's
is yes.
better on the beach.
I mean, so there was a music festival down in Destin, Florida. And what I've kind of figured out with this whole music festival is it's at a resort that has, I don't know, a great concert area. And I think what they do is they put on these music festivals because there's one like next week and the week after, all these signs that were coming up. I mean, you know, they have some really good smaller festivals. The festival grounds, though, they limit it to just under 5,000 people, according to their website. And I thought, well, that's odd because they get some pretty big bands in there, not overly expensive either. So, but going and seeing how it was set up, well done, you know. And I go to a lot of festivals, you know, like ACL or, you know, Boston Calling last year, Beale Street Music Festival. I've been to a couple times where, you know, it feels like, I don't know, there's 80 to 150,000 people there. This was small. It was nice on so many levels. And although you can't actually see the beach from the festival grounds.
Oh, you can't.
Well, there's a big stage in the way and the band's there, right?
That's too bad. It's unfortunate.
You get the ocean breezes and
that smell, right?
You know,
that ocean smell.
Well, and then you just end up at the bar afterwards,
right?
And you know, it was all good, but it was a fantastic little area, and I just kind of figured the resort has figured out ways in non-peak times to sell all the rooms to their resort.
Smart people.
And throw in a concert at the same time.
Absolutely. Smart folks.
It was really good. I just wish I was able to stay at said resort.
Those silly people that make the reservations.
Well, no, see what had happened was.
What happened was
the resort where the event takes place was sold out when we bought our tickets.
Okay.
So through Airbnb, I booked a room, a condo in the condo right next door to the resort. So we're leaving Friday. Thursday night, we're at Taste of the North Side. We're already having fun at Taste of the North Side, and I get an email that my room was no longer available, to call this number, and they'll figure out other accommodations. So now, I mean, not that I was going to let it ruin my night at Taste of the North Side. I'll deal with it later. Although I will say, to their credit, and I guess it's not Airbnb's fault, but the place that I was at probably realized, well, they could sell that room for a whole lot more because I got it for a steal.
Yeah.
And then I got screwed, right? Because they canceled the room.
There you go.
So I called them and they're like, well, find you another hotel and we'll book a place. There's this place, there's that place. And they paid for it 100% and then refunded my money for the place that I was supposed to stay at, or at least half of it.
Nice.
They were going to refund half of it. So I was like, all right, well, now they're it's not costing me anything to stay in Florida, but I was no longer in a beach hotel with views of the beach and all that other stuff.
What were you in?
A Hilton Garden Inn.
Oh,
That,
okay.
That was about a mile away.
Uh-huh.
And from my room, you could see the water, but you had to kind of stand up and look over through all these guys. It was just off the beach, right? Not quite what we had planned, but it was ultimately free, and they're giving me money back.
Well, there you go.
But it wasn't quite what I was planning
I'd
on.
write a strongly worded letter to the resort you were supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe you'll get a free room there.
Well, that's kind of already been done because yesterday
I figured it was.
I'm sitting at the airport yesterday, kind of like, all right, well, it all worked out. It wasn't quite what I wanted, but I wasn't stranded and I wasn't screwed. It just wasn't.
You had a decent room to sleep in.
But then they because it's automatic. Would you like to review your stay at such and such place? I was like, well, sure. 1 star. How was it? Well, I didn't get to stay there. This is why. This is it, and so we'll see if they post my review in 13 days.
Well, I doubt they will, but hopefully they'll call you.
I don't know. It says that they, but all the, everything about your experiences at this particular hotel, I couldn't review it because I didn't get to actually stay there because they couldn't honor the reservation. Although I will give them credit, as I called ready to be angry. And they were like, no, we'll get you taken care of. There's this place, there's that place. And I had an option of a really nice place, but it was way on the other side of Destin. I'm like, well, that'd be great, but it's going to be like a $200 Uber ride after you get out of the concert. So
how big is Destin?
Bigger than you think.
Really?
The airport was 40 minutes away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so... And
wow.
I don't know Destin well enough for the Destin experts out there, because now I feel like I've heard from so many people that Destin's our spot. They go all the time. And this restaurant recommendation and that one, there's a great bar on the other end of an island. It was about a $25 Uber ride there and coming back because bars close at 4 a.m. and they're surge pricing. Not that I was out till 4, but it was closer to 3. That was almost like $50 to get back. And it was, 20 some odd minutes away at the other end of the island.
But what do you care? You weren't paying for it. Plus you're getting half your money back. Spend it on an Uber and stay at a nice place.
I'm just saying I was, and I probably should have.
Yeah, you should have.
But it was far. It looked really far on the map when I was looking at it.
Sometimes just a bad review like that will get you. We're in Cozumel.
Yeah.
We had some issues with our room because we splurged and got the beachfront thing. It's supposed to be like a private beach thing right there.
Uh-huh.
Well, these people just kept sitting there and they would never do anything about it. And you were kind of blocking the view. And I didn't want to be a jerk.
Well, so wait a minute. So you had a private area.
Well, not
and people were sitting there.
Not a
that
private.
Seems kind of odd.
Not a private, but because there's like 5 of them right there at this particular resort, and that stretch of beach, which is just probably 50 yards. Right, for the 5 rooms, whatever it is. Yeah, it's supposed to be for the people that are staying in those rooms.
Yeah.
So, you got chairs up on your patio, and you just sit there and drink and look out at the water.
Yeah.
Well, when there's people sitting there, you can't see.
Well, you can't look past them?
Well, no.
Or they were sitting in your chairs?
I didn't want to look at them, okay? How about that? It wasn't like it was Miss America and, her friends.
So if it was,
well, then that might have been a different story.
But the complaint would have been from Maggie.
Well, yes, but she and rightly so. She was upset. So we just made it come because we're members of this Hyatt thing. So so they're giving us 3 free nights.
Nice.
In the same room.
Nice. Will the same people still be there?
Well, I don't know. They better not be, or I'll get 3 more free rooms.
Well, I mean, I generally don't leave bad reviews. Although I gave a very accurate review of my non-stay at that particular condo. So I'm waiting to hear back from that.
I hope it works out
because
for you.
And then quite frankly, if I were staying there, I could have walked to the festival.
Yes.
But also where I was at, you have So the beaches in Destin, there's like the road, and then you walk down to the beach. So there's not a resort like in Port Aransas, like the Sandcastle or something where you're right on the beach. So you have to cross the street, but you have the beach area. Well, it had, if you're staying at this resort that I was supposed to stay at, your chairs and umbrellas and all that are included. Well, so the Hilton, they didn't have that. You know how much a chair and an umbrella is on a beach in Destin?
No.
$60.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's all day rental, whether you need it for an hour, 3 hours, or all damn day. And if you sit in one and you didn't pay for it, man, they are on you.
I'm sure they are.
Really quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll see if they pay for my umbrella.
Glad you had a good time.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. That's what it'll be. Next time when you come, Mr. Minix, you got a free umbrella and chair.
Dude, I'll take that and a bucket of beer. You're ready to go.
Well, I didn't say anything about the beer. I was just like,
that was the great thing. I mean, they got bars literally right on the beach.
Yeah.
It was
now,
fantastic.
can you drive on the beach there like you can in Port Aransas?
No.
That's too bad.
Not really. I mean, it was a nice white sandy beaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the first time I'd been down there, and it's weird because it's not far from Pensacola. And I did spend a couple of weeks at SAR school when I was in the Navy at Pensacola. But even Pensacola is an hour and a half away.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was
all right.
So I'd kind of been in the area, but not up to Destin at Miramar Beach, where the music festival was.
Miramar Beach, isn't that the Air Force base or Navy base in Top Gun?
Well, that would be Miramar, California.
Okay,
sir.
right.
Yeah,
right.
different Miramar.
Just saying.
I had that same
thing?
discussion with Joanna,
Oh, you
my
did?
wife.
You didn't see Tom Cruise walking around?
I did not. I did not. Eric Friend says show should be Jason and Joe's travels.
Yes.
You know what? We travel a lot. We're at the point in our lives, empty nesters, that we're able to do that. And yeah, use your vacation.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all
Then
about.
get home and watch some NBA basketball tonight. Let's talk about what's going on in the NBA tonight, what we saw over the weekend. There are 3 games tonight, and I've already been looking at my Underdog Fantasy app to see about my pick'em entry, especially for the early game. And boy, I'm looking at a promo right now at Underdog Fantasy. Paulo Banchero higher than 0.5 points, so 1 point, and that one's going to turn green. Looking at Donovan Mitchell, higher or lower, 25.5 points. You want to add excitement to watching these games that you may or may not. Well, you're going to watch them anyway, so add the excitement to them by playing the pick'em game, because all you have to do is select higher or lower on players' predicted stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money, endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas. So download the Underdog Fantasy app or get signed up at their website, underdogfantasy.com. And when you sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR. Use that when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select.
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
You don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position
I
select.
thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Folks, quality is a huge deal. It's what I look for when I recommend something to my listeners. It means you can depend on it. Quality means it won't let you down. It's something you can be proud of. Well, that's the definition of a Connecticut water softener. With other water softener brands, you just never know. Maybe they work half the time or they're just plain junk. A Connecticut water softener is up to 80% more efficient than competing models and will be the last water softener you'll ever own. That's because you're buying quality, and it's backed up with an outstanding 10-year warranty, too. If you're ready to enjoy all the benefits that come with quality, bring home a Connecticut water softener. Call the team at Connecticut at 656-PURE or online at ConnecticutSA.com. That's 656-PURE or ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. To move closer to family, live within a smaller budget, or just wanting a change of scenery. Whatever your reasons, having to figure out all the various housing market trends in your area may not be what you signed up for. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in. Realtors have the expertise to help you find the right price and navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. That's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
It's time for the 2024 NFL Draft. NFLshop.com has everything you need to welcome the newest class of rookies with the largest assortment of officially licensed draft gear for all 32 teams. Shop official New Era draft caps, draft t-shirts, jerseys, and more. Get ready to rep the newest members of your team for the 2024 season with an unbeatable selection of gear to showcase your team pride and style. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Are your windows struggling to keep up with the game? It's time to upgrade with Maverick Windows. Stay ahead of the competition with energy-efficient windows. Call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631. That's 800-972-3631 to get a free quote.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are in full force. We're looking closely at what happened last night and what goes on tonight. Full settings of all. The Cowboys are ticking away toward the draft. Where's a running back going to fall? What about that offensive tackle? Is that going to be first round? We're looking at it all very, very closely. Jason, tell me about Trombone Shorty, and nobody should give you any business about gumbo on the beach. It looked mighty good.
Certainly did. Trombone Shorty on the beach in Florida was fantastic. The Revivalists were excellent. First time I've seen the Revivalists live. Put them on your list.
What kind of music is that?
They're rock.
Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not heavy metal.
Right.
Dude, they got 2 different drum kits on stage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
So was Trombone Shorty the headliner or the
The Revivalists were the headliner.
Okay.
Trombone Shorty started at, I don't know, 7, and the Revivalists around 9.
I probably would have left at 9 and headed to the bar.
I doubt it.
No?
I doubt it. The bars are open till 4. They're not going anywhere.
Well, I'm sure they had drinks down there. I mean, did you not buy drinks at the venue?
Not only did they have drinks, they bring them to you.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, good.
It was
That's the way it should
fantastic.
be.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. No, it was a very well-run festival.
That's good.
I can tell you that.
Well, I'm happy about that. You didn't have to wait in line for 30 minutes to get in?
No.
I did.
No.
At the Majestic.
You're still bitching about that.
For Nate, what's his name? Bargazzi?
You're an idiot.
He was funny as hell.
Yeah, I can tell.
Nate Bargazzi.
Yeah, you won't get you. Yeah, I mean, Joe had to wait.
Well,
and everybody did that was going.
Yes.
You went to the second show. They had to clear the place out.
And clean the place, I guess, right? And
yeah,
it was all right. We didn't get there till like 9 o'clock, and they didn't let anybody even start till like 9:30. Show was supposed to start at 9:30.
Yeah.
Didn't start till 10.
Yeah. How do you know it didn't start till 10? Because he was like, all right, after the first show, I'm going to Bohannon's to get a steak.
He might have.
Yeah.
Sure. He might have done that.
And then he came back over and did the show on a full belly.
Could be. Could be.
It's possible.
The guy's delivery is what makes him funny, to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a unique delivery.
Standing in line for you
Yes.
is what I find funny.
Uh-huh.
Because I think I know you well enough. If your sister wasn't there, you would have said, the hell with this. Let's go.
Well, I
Not
thought about
standing
it.
in line.
The gunner was right across the street from the line I was standing in. And I know they've got a nice bar in there.
Uh-huh.
They do.
Which you could have done and not stood in line.
Well,
And
I
then
would still had to until the show started.
Wait till the line's moving, and then
Yeah.
you go get in the line. The impatient Joe Reinagle.
Yes, extremely.
He's
It
on
was a good show.
Twitter.
Yeah.
At Get Off My Lawn. No, at Joe Reinagle 2-0. You could tweet at me at Jason Minix. You know, there was a big quarterback trade in the NFL today.
There was.
Big.
Huge.
Not really. Although it's one that's going to get talked a lot about just because of who's involved. Zach Wilson traded today from the New York Jets to the Denver Broncos. On the day that the Broncos reveal their new uniforms that aren't getting rave reviews, they change the headlines by trading for Zach Wilson so people won't talk about their new look.
They look like UTSA.
In a lot of ways. In a lot of
Yes.
ways, they look like UTSA, yet somehow the Roadrunners look better than the Broncos with their color scheme.
Well, Zach Wilson we'll see how he looks in that uniform. He's going to compete with Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci.
Yep, that's one hell of a quarterback room.
I'm telling you.
One hell of a quarterback room. And the Jets are going to pay for some of his $5.5 million salary.
Yeah.
There's a pick swap, a 6th and a 7th. So that makes the Trey Lance deal for a 4th rounder look even worse, Jerry. But Zach Wilson now getting to work with the quarterback whisperer that is Sean Payton.
That's it. Boy, I tell you, that's all he needed.
Yes.
Was Sean Payton.
Yes.
Boy, he did wonders with that Drew Brees guy who was a has-been until Payton got there.
I don't know if you could say somebody young in his prime a has-been. But, I mean.
Well, it's all Sean Payton. That guy's
sure.
He's amazing.
Sure.
Quarterback whisperer.
We'll see what he can do with Zach Wilson. I don't understand the move for the Broncos.
Well, they needed somebody.
Well, they had Jared Stidham.
Oh, and Ben DiNucci.
Ben's great.
Yeah, well, sure. But you're going to be happy with that if something happens to Stidham?
At this point, the Broncos aren't trying to win, are they?
I don't know. I would imagine if I'm a fan of the Broncos, I would like to think that they might want to try to win.
Okay, but I live in the real world, and you look at what they're doing and how much money they're paying Russell Wilson not to be on their roster. They've handcuffed themselves. And if they make this move, are they still trying to trade up in the draft to get a quarterback high in the first round this year.
Yes, I think they should.
Then why have a Zach Wilson?
Well,
why make this trade?
It costs them nothing.
They could have made this trade next week if they didn't get the quarterback they wanted in the draft.
They could have.
This trade was still going to be there next week.
He was a number 2 overall pick.
Sure.
Maybe they think change of scenery.
Sean Payton can fix him.
Well, I mean, he and Jerry Jones are 2 of a kind. They're buddies.
Yeah.
So Jerry's telling him how well that Trey Lance trade worked out for him.
I know. He's
so
everything
you might as well
want to
go
be in a
for it.
teammate.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes all the sense in the world. Makes all the sense.
Of course it does.
In the world.
I don't know. Look, everybody still says this kid is a talented guy. He went to a bad Jets team. Didn't play well, obviously. The media hammered him. I don't know. Maybe a change of scenery in Denver will help him out. And you can only hope that that would be the same for Trey Lance. I didn't understand that trade. I don't understand this one either. So.
Are there mom jokes in Mile High City already floating around?
I'm sure there is.
Lots of good ones.
You still got to give that kid street cred for sleeping with all his mom's friends.
I don't know if it was all of them.
Well, 1 or 2. You go, boy.
And the new uniforms that Denver rolled out today.
Yeah.
And tomorrow it will be the Houston Texans.
Yes.
Pledger cannot wait. He is beside himself to see these new uniforms. I'm not a fan of what Denver rolled out today.
No, I'm not either.
Now, granted, Bronco fan, maybe. Matt Roy from Channel 4 is a Bronco fan.
Uh-huh.
He's beside himself. Pledge tomorrow will have pledge-gasms all day long every time he looks at him. He is so excited that every little nugget that they've dropped to this point, Pledge loses his mind. If Pledge was really disappointed, he wouldn't tell you.
No, he wouldn't. He'd still have a gasm.
It's a pledge-gasm. Pledge-gasm.
Doesn't matter who comes out with what, Jason. Nobody can touch the Detroit Lions. Those black uniforms that they unveiled are sweet.
The Lions look good.
Yeah.
I like their uniform.
I do too.
I mean, and again, a lot of these you wonder why do you have to change? And I know they've got to sell more stuff.
Sure.
You know, subtle changes here. Unless you're the Dallas Cowboys, you have to do that every now and then. I am curious what the Houston Texans are going to do. And the one thing that I seem to want them to do the most is the one thing it doesn't appear that they are going to do, and that's the logo on the side of the helmet.
You don't like the logo?
I like it on one side, but when you turn your head, it doesn't face the right way. It's just, to me, it's just never looked right.
Should they be the Pittsburgh Steelers then? Just have it on one side and not the other?
No, they should have something that looks the same no matter which way you're looking at it.
Well, with a head, it's kind of hard to do that.
Well, that's to the point. They could do something a little bit different.
Texans.
But I've had that.
You put a little cowboy on there?
I've thought about, no.
It could be Wyoming. Put the cowboy on the buck and bronc.
Stop. Go yellow and brown. That would make Pledge's day. Pledge likes yellow and brown.
Yes, he does.
It's his favorite color combination. Just look at what he dresses as most of the time.
Yellow and brown?
Or not.
We'll see the Texans uniforms tomorrow.
I don't know.
And the draft on dude, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an interesting draft.
It is.
Where it's just, you just don't know what's going to happen. Arizona Cardinals are the wild card.
That's why we love draft season.
Yeah.
That's why the NFL rules. The NFL is dominant.
It is.
And an NFL quarterback, because the amount of money he has made the Athletics NBA survey on favorite athletes not in the NBA. We'll tell you who and more importantly why this guy made the athletic list. It's pretty damn funny. We'll tell you about it coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, need a little gambling excitement? How about some poker? You like poker? Well, you should. It's a lot of fun. And the Big Blind is the place that you need to go. It is San Antonio's premier poker room. I've been to most of them here in San Antonio, and they don't hold a candle to the Big Blind. And right now, they've got a pretty cool deal going on. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 11 p.m., both. All day, from 11 to 3, and then on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 11. It's called the Flush Rush. Right now, they've got a jackpot up there at $5,000, and that thing continues to increase if nobody wins it. All you have to do is hit all 4 flushes in 4 hours. Okay, so you get all 4 flushes in 4 hours, you get the jackpot. And if nobody wins, it increases. There's no telling how high that thing can go. But that's just what the big blind does. There is stuff to do, different things to do all the time. I love going there. It is as close to Vegas as you are going to get. And in some respects, even nicer than that. It is a great place. And you figure that, right? Because it's from the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant. They offer food and beverage served directly to your table, a full bar, and of course, all the games on all the TVs. You won't miss any of the NBA playoff action. Head in there tonight. You'll be glad you did. If you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to get in there. It is the Big Blind. You know where it is. It's right down from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant on 281 and Redland Road.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are in full force. How those Nuggets looking? That Minnesota defense looks solid. Rumor has it lots of players want to play with Victor Wembanyama, but what kind of player is required? And oh, by the way, the draft is Thursday night. Likely suspects for all our favorite teams. That's the Morning Huddle. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINCESS.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Calling all children ages 8 to 16. HEB and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing a youth football clinic to you on May 4th from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at East Central High School in San Antonio. You can do skills and drills just like the pros. Register for your chance to participate at dallascowboys.com/HEB. Camp is limited to 150 athletes per session, so sign up today. Purchase not required to register. Parents must be 18 years of age or older and a Texas resident. The promotion ends April 25th. For official rules and important details, visit dallascowboys.com/HEB.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. You grilled over the weekend. You know, took photos of that great meat on your grill. Take those photos and upload them to sasportstar.com, the Grilling with the Blitz page, because on Thursdays, we judge those photos and give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market.
And you know what? What's great about that, we have somebody on that tweeted us how great Tri-County Meat Market is, and they went in there and spent their $50.
They did. They had some short ribs on there, some fajitas, some poppers. Absolutely.
It's awesome.
It's Tri-County's the best. Thursday, we're also going to be live at the Roo Pub when we judge the meat, because the draft is Thursday night. The Blitz will be live at the Roo Pub, getting you ready for the draft. Go in there, watch, enjoy, commiserate, celebrate, however it works out. We'll talk some NFL coming up, some Dak Prescott. But speaking of the NFL, and when the NBA world and the NFL world collide, sort of, The Athletic has a great survey out there, a player survey that they do every year. And yes, Wemby was voted best defender by NBA players. Also voted the player that they would want to build around if they were starting a franchise. But there was a bonus question on the survey that I found interesting. Who is your favorite current non-NBA athlete? 115 votes were cast. Lamar Jackson, number one.
I believe that. I mean, he's a very entertaining guy to watch.
Caitlin Clark, number two.
Wow. I'm glad you're here.
That's just creepy. Usain Bolt's on the list. Patrick Mahomes is on the list. Mike Tyson is on the list. Justin Jefferson is on the list. Shohei Ohtani is on the list. And Kirk Cousins is on the list.
Kirk Cousins.
Wow. When an NBA player named Kirk Cousins as his favorite current non-NBA athlete, the response elicited a dumbfounded why from one writer from The Athletic. The NBA player said, quote, Kirk Cousins, because he gets paid and doesn't have to win or don't have to do anything, and made $400 million off of one playoff win. Legend.
Yeah.
Yes, Kirk Cousins.
Wow. He's a likable guy, and I didn't really realize that until that show, Quarterback.
Sure.
And, I mean, it helped me get to know the guy a little bit better, and seems like a pretty good guy.
You know, those shows do help. You get to know somebody because you either make your opinion on a guy off of interviews, podium. You know, I've said for years, and you know this, Jason Garrett is a different guy.
He is.
When he's not doing an interview.
Yeah.
You know, every one of his press conferences was robotic. When he would call into this show, robotic. I even said to him one time, like, I feel like no matter what we ask you, you've got index cards on your desk and you just pick up an index card and read it.
Sure.
Because when you see Jason Garrett coaching, when you see him in areas where microphones aren't there, he's a different guy. He's funny. He is a different guy. But public facing events, he's a robot. And I think, that show did wonders for Kirk Cousins and his likability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a show like that might do wonders for a guy like Dak Prescott, because Dak always says the right things. He's buttoned up. He's likable, yet a lot of people don't like him because of performance on the field. But there's no personal attachment that you have to a Dak Prescott because you don't know enough about him, even though it feels like you know everything. And he probably feels like everybody knows everything, but you don't really know what his personality is like away from the football field or away from doing interviews.
I think it's I like Dak Prescott personally and what he does for the community and all of that stuff. I just don't think that he's got it to get it done. And he's proven that. It's not just me saying that. I mean, you watch him over the years, 8 years with the Cowboys, 2 playoff wins, which is one more than Kirk Cousins. So I guess, Dak should make more than $400 million.
Well,
which he's pretty close to, I would think. Dak's made a lot of money for only 2 playoff
He
wins.
has made a lot of money. And again, we judge quarterbacks specifically on playoff wins and on Super Bowls. Manny M on our YouTube channel right now says, why doesn't Lamar get the crap Dak gets? What has he accomplished when it matters? Lamar Prescott.
I said he's Dak Prescott Jr.
And again, playoff success is what we
exactly
judge
right.
on. Now, I think one of the biggest differences is Lamar seems to be building and just got his big contract. Dak is trying to get a second one. Trevor Lawrence is about to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Herbert got paid. Josh Allen has gotten paid. But another thing that none of those guys have, along with lack of playoff success, is they don't play for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, they don't.
And that carries an extra massive weight with it. But Dak is 8 years in the league. Dak has had a couple of teams that look like they could be the team that can get back to the Super Bowl, and they have failed miserably last year, underlined 3 times with Sharpie. Yet he's back at the negotiating table, sort of. Because according to Dak Prescott, at a charity event Friday night, negotiations haven't even started yet.
Honestly, I'm focused on the moment, on the now. The talks begin and real talks get to happen. Sure, we can talk about getting that done. But in this case right now, honestly, I'm worried about just getting better, being better tomorrow than I am at this moment. So leaving that up to my agent and Jerry at this point. And when those talks begin, I'll be more involved, obviously.
So no talks. Are you surprised with no talks today?
No, I mean, I've been in conversation. I've talked to Jerry, and so I understand where we are, obviously. And Jerry's mentioned the same, so there's not any gray area in that sense. So, yeah.
He talked about the cap and all the situations and why they're not doing it.
We had a great conversation. We had a great conversation that put us aligned and where we are and moving forward, or where we are in this moment, I should say. And we'll address moving forward as that comes about.
Yeah, I find that so interesting how he changes his mind moving forward, and then he comes back to say, right now, we're in line. So there's a lot of water under the bridge, a lot of water to cross before they get to that goal line, is what it sounds like to me.
While there haven't been any negotiations, there's been a conversation between Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott.
Uh-huh.
No gray area. So Dak is very much understanding of where Jerry is on his new contract. I don't want to say on board, although he did say they are aligned right now. He did say moving forward and then backpedaled a little bit and corrected it to the right now. I don't know what to make of that, other than while a lot of people are upset that deal has not yet been done, Dak Prescott doesn't seem to be one of them. He publicly doesn't seem upset about it. And with the conversation that he had with Jerry, there's no gray area, and they are aligned at this moment. Whatever that means. All right. And again, because the backpedal is kind of telling.
It is.
Because moving forward, are they still going to be aligned? because he did say, sorta, he doesn't necessarily want to be the highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be the highest paid necessarily. So I'll wait till negotiations begin, and obviously want to put this team in the best situation. So
necessarily, he wouldn't mind it, but it sounds to me for the first time that he might be willing to take a more team-friendly deal. I would look. I put myself in Dak Prescott's shoes, and obviously you want to make all the money you can make.
Sure,
right? But if you see the Cowboys, and I say, well, what if I take, I don't know, $20 million less? And I'm just throwing that out there. What are you going to do with it? I'd want to know. Are you going to go out and get me some help? Are you going to get me a decent running back? Are we going to have another, great wide receiver on the other side of CD Lamb? What are you going to do with that money? I'd want to know.
Well, and again, I don't know that I don't know what you do with it. It's a pot of money, and they've got so many people they could pay. All right, I'll do this if you give this guy that. And again, players, this is your one time to be selfish.
Sure,
you go get as much as you can. Sure, Dak is never going to be hungry. His brand new baby is never going to be hungry, and that kid's kids are probably never going to be hungry. The idea of necessarily being the highest paid player, I could take that one of two ways, and I don't take it as team friendly. The total contract itself might not make him the highest paid player by total contract, but the annual per year of said contract might make him the highest paid. So he leaves some gray area in there on what he truly means by that. Are you trying to get 75.5 a year? Well, in that, where's Joe Burrow? Are you trying to get 60? Whatever. Your total isn't going to be a half Billy like Patrick Mahomes.
Well, nobody's is, right?
Right.
I mean, nobody.
But again, but his annual could be a lot more than Patrick Mahomes.
Well, it could be, because what do you figure? That's about $45 million for Mahomes per year. I think Joe Burrow's right around the $55 million range, somewhere in there. So, whatever Dak gets, and I think Burrow, if I'm not mistaken, right now is the highest annual paid. So does Dak get $5 million more per year than Joe Burrow?
Well, I don't know. I mean, and I don't know if it's $5 million, but historically speaking, the next contract is about 2.5-3% more than the previous one.
Okay.
That's been kind of the standard that every agent uses. All right, this deal is here. You're next. I know you hate that, but that's the way the world works. You're next, 2.5-3% more than the previous guy. And if you're Dak, you wait for, I don't know, Tua to get his, Trevor to get his, and then are you looking for 2.5-3% more than those guys? And maybe Dak is more focused on the annual income as opposed to the total contract. Keeping in mind, Dak, since he's been in the league, and his agent try for shorter deals to get back to the negotiating table sooner. Jerry typically wants longer contracts so he could spread out the cap hit over so many years. That's what happened the last time. And, Jerry put him on the tag twice. Dak bet on himself twice. So that has been the biggest disconnect between those two in their negotiations is Dak wants shorter deals. Jerry wants longer deals. Who's going to win there? And again, highest paid, total contract. All right, somebody else can have that. Per year, that's what Dak seems to always be after.
It's going to be interesting. But when I listen to Dak, I've never heard Dak Prescott, this kind of the tone in his voice is not an optimistic tone. Whether you're talking about his contract, whether you're talking about the team's lack of activity in free agency, he doesn't have that same optimistic tone that Dak Prescott normally has.
Well, the one thing that he did say that we've never heard him say before, and I have not heard him say anything like this before. If you've heard it and you can tell me where I missed it, go right ahead. But I think Friday night at this charity event in Dallas, Dak Prescott, for the first time that I can recall ever saying, well, maybe it won't be in Dallas.
I'm not gonna say I fear being here or not. I don't fear either situation. To be candid with you, I love this game and love to play and love to better myself as a player and my teammates around me. Right now, it's with the Dallas Cowboys. It's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and that's the focus. And after the season, we'll see where we're at, and if the future holds that, then if not, we'll go from there.
It's the first time I've heard him say anything other than Dallas is the place.
And
That's
we'll
all,
get it done.
yeah, it's all. I mean, the first indication, like, yeah, man, I might not be here. We don't get it done, I could play somewhere else. I'm going to play football. I'm going to make north of $60 million next year, whether that paycheck is coming from Dallas or he's going to become a free agent and go somewhere else. That's the first time I've ever heard him indicate that maybe I won't be in Dallas.
I think it's interesting that he put it that way. He also talked about, we'll see what happens after the season. I think that's fascinating because it tells me that at least at this point in time, there's no contract extension in sight. I mean, it doesn't sound like it when you listen to what he's saying. And that could happen tomorrow. I mean, if they come together. But at this moment in time, there's nothing within sight of anything for Dak. And I'm not quite sure. A couple of things. Either they're far away number-wise or year-wise, one of the two, or Dak just might say, hey, you know what? Let me see what else is out there.
You think about Dak's personal life has changed dramatically.
It has.
He's had a baby. I don't know that he's not married yet, right?
He's not married.
But there's other people now involved
Mm-hmm.
that he's running things past. I would assume that she is having some sort of influence on decisions being made. How well does she handle being with the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and all the negative press? And you wonder if that has some sort of influence on Dak, because there's a lot of other fan bases that would appreciate him, at least initially, him being their quarterback and being the upgrade, right?
Dak can fix that. He could fix all of it. He could be a star, a hero, a legend with the Dallas Cowboy fans. He could fix that.
Well, go win a Super Bowl?
Well, sure.
All right.
Or have some playoff success.
Well, no. See, that's it. That's where I think you're very short-sighted. Playoff success, unless it's a Super Bowl, doesn't matter.
I would like to see, just for a change, a little
All right.
playoff success.
All right. So say Dak next year with this team that they've done nothing to make better than last year's team. So it's a joke, and I realize that. But let's say next year they get to the NFC Championship game and lose.
Uh-huh.
The narrative is Dak can't win the big one.
Well, I don't know whose narrative that's going to be.
That would be everybody's narrative. It's Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust for every quarterback in the National Football League.
Well, sure, and it should be. You're playing professional football. That's what
so
it should
saying
be.
that, man, he could change everything if he just got to an NFC Championship game. It's easy to say when you've never done it, but if he got there and lost, it would be the same narrative. He can't win the big game. There would be some reason why he got lucky or something happened that they made it to the NFC Championship game. If he got to the Super Bowl and lost, it would be the same thing. He can't win the big game. He's got to win a Super Bowl. Danny White went to a couple of NFC Championship games as the quarterback, and he's considered awful in Cowboys history amongst Cowboy fans of that time frame for a guy that followed up Roger.
Well, and because of what he did, he followed up Roger. I think that's a big deal. Dak is not following up anybody that had any playoff success or Super Bowl success. Tony Romo didn't.
No.
They were the same guy, or they are the same guy. I just think he's got to have some playoff success. Another team, I don't know, send him to Miami or name one, and he wins a couple of playoff games. He's going to be a star.
Well, they'd be building for the future. And how sick would Jerry be if he let Dak walk and he wins a Super Bowl with another team?
I would. I'd take that bet.
What?
If I'm Jerry, I'd make that bet. Go ahead, young man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I lose, I lose, but I'll take my chances.
Because
I see how you play in the playoffs, and it ain't good.
Why do you hate Dak Prescott?
I don't hate. I love the guy. I love Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like how he performs in the playoffs.
Playoff Prescott's a different guy.
He's a completely different guy.
He's a completely different guy. Let's talk NBA playoffs since we're talking playoffs. They're going on. There's 3 games tonight.
Yes.
It's a bad weekend in the NBA as far as competitive basketball goes. We'll talk about it next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're dealing with any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, there's one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number, 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. This is the time of year also that you want to get your maintenance done on your AC unit. Make sure it's ready for the hot summer months. If you know you need a new AC unit, or they tell you, yeah, you're better off getting a new one, for a limited time, all 14 SEER up to 3-ton AC systems are just $69.99 installed by Quartermoon. So lowest prices of the year. Now is the time to buy. Call Quartermoon at 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Riding home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Feel that heat? That's how it should feel when you're outdoors watching your favorite team coming up to bat, not in your home. Call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631. That's 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy-efficient windows.
Get the last water softener you'll ever own and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Kinetico.
Visit KineticoSA.com.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Denver Broncos have themselves a new quarterback. The New York Jets have traded former number 2 overall pick quarterback Zach Wilson to Denver. Two teams will swap late round picks. Dak Prescott, is he going to be a Cowboy next season? He will be, but what about after that? Well, he says he hasn't really started talking to Jerry Jones about a contract extension and doesn't necessarily want to be the highest paid quarterback.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Monday afternoon.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. You did.
I did. Seemed like a lot of people had a lot of fun at Fiesta.
I'm sure they did.
Fiesta's fun.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm not a big crowd guy. Although I do like oyster bake and that kind of stuff, but a lot of people.
This is one Joe Reinagel trying to say, you kids have fun. I'm not going to that anymore.
Well, I don't know. I could see myself going to oyster bake.
It was this past week.
I know it, but I didn't go. But I could see, maybe next year.
I would have done oyster bake this year, although I was out of town. Because Rat was playing on. I think it was Saturday night.
They had a big lineup on Friday night.
They had a really good lineup. La Semana happening this week.
Yeah,
Thursday and Friday.
Cool. All the parades are this week, right?
No tickets. No.
Wow.
Why Pledge?
Why do you hate Fiesta, Pledge?
I mean, we gave them all away.
Oh,
we had NIOSA tickets.
I know. So we've got nothing to give away this week.
Nope. We emptied the closet.
Wow.
If you guys are going to NIOSA starting tomorrow, have fun. I'm debating NIOSA this week.
Oh, yeah?
Just because of the bleep show with all the construction down there that I keep hearing about ahead of time. I don't necessarily know how much of that I want to deal with that. George says Kevin Fowler had a great concert Friday night. Yeah, Fowler's always great.
Oh, yeah.
Fowler's one of the best. Love him.
Yeah.
Friend of mine, like, dude, I'm going to NOSA tomorrow. You want to go? I was like, I don't know, maybe. What days are you going? He said, every day.
Every day.
You're going every day to NIOSA. More power to you.
That used to be the way I was in college at Worst Fest.
And
we go just about every day.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a different deal back in those days.
Sure.
Yeah. Very different.
Apparently Collective Soul Show at Oyster Bake was cut short due to the storms.
Oh, that's too bad, Fred.
Middle of their set and got shut down.
Yeah.
That sucks. Don't blame Oyster Bake for that.
That's not Oyster Bake's fault.
I mean, because I saw those storms that were rolling in Friday and was thinking about, man, Oyster Bake in the mud, that's going to be wild. I didn't realize that. I thought the storms came late at night, not during, because I didn't see anybody complaining, and not that you're complaining, Fred, but that the show was cut short. And some friends of mine were at the Nothing More concert up in Austin at Stubbs on Saturday, and that was pouring down rain too. It looked awful to be in.
Yeah, there were some bad storms over the weekend. But Saturday night, they didn't. Was it Saturday? What night did it storm? Was it Friday or Saturday?
I believe Saturday.
It was Saturday night.
Saturday, but it was like early Sunday morning, right? For the most part.
Were you already in bed, sir?
Probably.
So it stormed about 9:15.
Yeah, right. No, I was actually had a great Saturday night. You ever seen The Beekeeper with Jason Latham? I think is his name.
Statham,
that guy.
Statham.
Same thing.
No,
it was really good.
Where did you see The Beekeeper?
We watched that at the house Saturday.
Oh,
yeah.
Party Animals, Joe Ryan.
Party Animals. That's right.
Yeah,
it was good.
Good movie, huh?
I thought it was
good.
Yeah. So you got something to watch.
You could have been getting rained on at Collective Soul.
I could have been
at Oyster Bake,
but I didn't.
No,
I was watching The Beekeeper.
The Beekeeper.
Uh-huh. Dude, you stay home more than I do.
I don't think so.
I'm usually out most of the time. You stay home a lot more than I do.
I don't think so.
I think so. I do.
The Beekeeper is mind-numbing action fun.
That's right,
according
Gilberto.
to Gilberto on our YouTube channel.
It is. It's it'll keep you on the edge of your
Is
seat.
it on the Netflix or?
Where was it? I'm not sure which one it was on. It's one of those. Netflix, Amazon. I don't know. It was on one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
We started watching last week on Netflix, Ripley. I'm only 2 episodes in, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this with Rob Thompson at Taste of the North Side. And he's already finished the entire series.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling me, like, oh, wait till you get to episode 3 and then 4. And then I was like, and it won't end the way you think it's going to end.
Prime and Apple TV. There you go. The Beekeeper.
Okay. Good.
So you have Prime.
Yes.
It's an action-packed night, Minix.
Mind-numbing action-packed.
Yes.
You know, I would say I'm going to go home and watch it, but there's playoff basketball to watch
There
tonight.
is. Yeah.
So I'm probably going to watch some playoff basketball tonight.
I plan to do that
and
myself.
not watch The Beekeeper.
Well, I've already watched it, so I can watch playoff basketball. And
Or
not
you
feel
could
guilty.
start Ripley because it was highly recommended by a good friend of yours. But whatever. You look at the games tonight. Well, quite frankly, the games this weekend, all but last night's late game sucked.
They really did.
And surprisingly so, because like the Mavericks, that looked like it could be a good series.
It's going to be.
Kawhi doesn't play, of course, because he's Kawhi. And Dallas was a no-show in the first half. And all the Dallas media types that I follow all had Cowboy comparisons.
Uh-huh.
And they were right. It did have a Cowboy playoff feel to it. What the hell is this? This is not what was expected.
It's that what they have 30 points, I think, at halftime.
Dude, it was embarrassing.
Well, it was, but I still think that's going to be a good series. I don't think that the Clippers are going to run away with it. And that one game I wouldn't be surprised to see Dallas win game 2.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. What's a bigger surprise, Dallas wins or Kawhi plays?
Kawhi plays. His check cleared, so he's fine.
The Sixers.
I'm sure Uncle Rupert told him to. Is that his name, Rupert?
The Sixers had a chance, blew it to the Knicks in game 1. I think the Knicks get game 2 tonight if Joel Embiid is unable to go or is he limited. Have you seen Pledge? I haven't seen. Is he in or out for tonight, Joel Embiid? I haven't seen.
He was questionable.
Well, I know
all day.
that. So I knew that. I literally just said that. Have you seen? Have they made a decision?
They haven't made a decision.
Because we're close and we're getting close to where they have to declare one way or the other. Although I think the Knicks tonight, I just expected better competitive basketball over the first weekend of the playoffs, and there really wasn't a good game until last night's late game, which fortunately I got home in time to see the majority of the fourth quarter of that game. You know, as much as I love Southwest Airlines, when you get in and you're ready to watch a playoff basketball game on their free TV and realize TNT isn't one of the offerings they have.
That's weird. I never realized that before, but that's weird. I'm surprised.
I never realized until, although I did watch one hell of a hockey game that had like 13 goals in the game.
Oh, wow.
But I was looking for basketball. Dallas Stars, they also play tonight, speaking of hockey.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
8:30.
You're watching that?
Game 1 against Vegas.
Yeah.
That'll be on one of the TVs in the living room, yes.
They can't handle Vegas.
Sure they can.
Nah.
Dallas is the 1 seed, sir. I know you paid attention to hockey for about now 12 seconds, but Dallas is the 1 seed.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. I remember the Spurs were a 1 seed once and got beat.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, it's going to be a good night. So, playoff basketball, playoff hockey, or according to Joe, watch The Beekeeper.
Watch The Beekeeper. That's right. It's good.
Or Ripley.
Or Ripley.
Ripley was really good. Well, I'm 2 episodes in. It's get to the second episode. It's interesting. It's an interesting series.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You got a lot to watch. And I'm honestly, I really hope these playoff games get better. I mean, seriously, I like playoff basketball. I like NBA playoff basketball. But it was hard to keep,
well, it was easy to lose interest because the games weren't competitive. So what I said I really enjoyed about the play-in tournament, or it was fun watching good competitive basketball, and we didn't see a lot of that over the first weekend of the first round.
I enjoyed the Denver Laker game though, even though it was a blowout.
Well, you just like watching the Lakers lose.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Anthony Davis and LeBron cry.
There you go. They play tonight too.
And I hope Denver whacks them again.
It's the late game. You're going to stay up for it?
Sure. I'll stay up for it.
You'll see tip-off?
I saw the game last night, all of it. Sure.
Okay.
Oklahoma City.
Okay.
SGA. Everybody keeps saying Oklahoma City's too young to win. I disagree, man. I like that team. I really do.
It's a good team.
I like that team. Spurs, take notice. Go trade for somebody good.
Yes.
Yes.
That's hopefully the plan.
To pair with your own big fella.
Yeah. Well, our own big fella, his name is Wendy. And Victor getting a lot of love in the Athletics NBA Player Survey. We'll dive into those details coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocation, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
It's the 2024 NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We're the 24th pick. The Dallas Cowboys select.
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Detroit.
I love the tenacity and the aggression with which he plays. He is a mauler.
Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant?
The Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
I don't ever want to pass on the guy you ought to be taking there, but still be position select.
I thought Sauce Gardner would be the first corner, but you go back to 2019, and that version of Derek Stingley is as good as anybody in this entire draft class.
Find out right here on your exclusive home for the NFL Draft. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
90 Proof Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot to catch a game and satisfy your cravings. Kitchen's open till midnight every day, serving up delicious bites to fuel your hunger. Plus, daily drink specials make every night a winning night at 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyer4us.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyer4us.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyer4us.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind up there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Play ball! Missions Baseball returns Tuesday night at Wolf Stadium. Join us for AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First pitch is at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It's America's #1 sports fantasy act. 3 million players? Yes, I'm a member. You should be too. Download it now and remember the code Alamo, and you can get a deposit match of up to $100. Basketball is balling, baby. Football is coming. Baseball is swinging. It is time to go to Prize Picks because you put your fantasy knowledge into action. You know more. You know your less. You know who's better or not. You know what's going on. You're a fantasy player. Put that knowledge to work. I have, along with so many others. And right now, remember the code Alamo, and you can get a $100 deposit match right now. Go download Prize Picks. We love watching Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, LeBron James. They are playing go more or less. It's so easy to do, and now's the time to go. You know when it's more, you know when it's less, and when you pair them together, you can win big, big bucks, up to 100 times your money. More, less, Prize Picks, Alamo. Go there.
This is Andy Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. We, of the unpopular opinion today when it comes to Wemby and Defensive Player of the Year. He's a finalist.
He is a finalist.
He'll be a runaway, more than likely unanimous winner for Rookie of the Year.
No question.
Defensive Player of the Year, he's a finalist. I still think he won't win.
I don't think he wins either.
And we were talking about this earlier, and we're getting crushed on Twitter for it, which is fine, because we can agree to disagree on postseason awards. I have no problem that he's a rookie. I don't give a damn if you're a rookie. If you're the guy, you're the guy. If I had a vote, which I don't, I would not vote for a player who's on a 22-win team for any postseason award outside of Rookie of the Year, because Rookie of the Year, you're going to a bad team. That's the one, in my mind, exception. I realize unpopular opinion, but we're also homers here because we're all Spurs fans. I would love to see him win the award, but even if I had a vote, I could not vote for him. Jeff McDonald of the San Antonio Express News quote tweeted my tweet and said, I do have a vote and I did vote for Victor, and here's why. And it's sound reasoning. We all have opinions on what we think in this or that, but I just look at so many of the people that are just saying I'm wrong. If Wemby played for a different team, you would say the same thing. How do you vote for that guy? His team wasn't any good. And I realize it's a team effort, and he's an individual on a bad team. And when he was out there, they were a really good defensive team. They still only won 22 games.
Yeah, that's an issue. The second issue, and maybe what you just said sums up why a rookie has never won this award, because he always most likely is on a bad team, and you don't reward that. Look, I don't care, quite honestly, and I still have a hard time understanding why Spurs fans are living and dying on whether Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year or not. I really don't see I don't understand the importance of that for Spurs fans. I really don't. I know he's our guy. He's the future. Is all of that, but I mean, I just don't really see why that is just such a line in the sand. A rookie's never won that award. Not to say that he never will, but I don't have a vote. Guys like Jeff McDonald, McDonald works with the Spurs very closely. And maybe he really feels that way. But other people across this nation that have a vote are not going to vote for a rookie. It's not my rules. It's just the way that it is.
See, now, and if there are people that have votes and they use them that way, all right. But to me, being a rookie doesn't factor in. I know it's never happened, but at some point, everything that's never happened happens at some point.
At some point, it does.
But I look at postseason awards generally go to people on good basketball teams.
Mm-hmm.
Should. I don't know of anybody that's ever won MVP on a lottery team.
No,
I don't think that's ever happened.
Although you could make an argument. I mean, we're making the same argument for Wemby, a Defensive Player of the Year. Why is he not the most valuable player? He's the most valuable player on the Spurs team.
Well, that he is.
He's the most valuable. So why not? Why are we not arguing that fact? Let's argue that he should be the MVP. Screw the Joker. It should be Wemby.
Well, what about SGA?
The SGA, screw all of those guys.
Yeah.
It should be Wemby. Well, he's the most valuable player on the Spurs team.
He's not a finalist for that award.
I'm just saying, why not?
The three finalists for Defensive Player of the Year are Bam Adebayo, Wemby, and Rudy Gobert.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The Athletics NBA player survey is out, anonymous. Best defender with 132 votes cast. Wemby, number one at 15.2%. Drew Holiday is at 2. Lou Dort at 3. Herb Jones at 4. Jaden McDaniels 5. Rudy Gobert at number 6. Alex Caruso at 7. Bam Adebayo at 8. So 2 of the 3 finalists on the NBA player survey aren't even in the top 5.
Right. But they don't vote.
They don't vote. And so you can make that argument. And again, I realize I'm arguing with a very biased fan base. I'm trying to be unbiased. Do I want to see him win? Will I celebrate him if he does win? Absolutely. But if I had a vote, I would hold the 22 wins against Victor. He is a great defensive player, and he's going to win the award many times when the Spurs are good.
I understand we want the Spurs to win every award that there is. I get it. It just seems like the future is so bright.
Yep.
And Spurs fans are living and dying on whether this guy wins Defensive Player of the Year or not. He's going to probably sweep that category for the next 10 years. I would imagine he's going to get all of them. And the fact that he's not going to get 11 seems to really piss some people off.
Well, it's a postseason award, and we're all biased. And so if you got a guy up for an award, I mean, we all want friends like that. We all want people to back you in whatever it is you're competing against, and they're competing. But even Wendy has basically said, Rudy, you're going to win it this year, and that's fine because it's the last one you're going to win.
Of course.
Right? And for those that are saying Rudy isn't worthy on Twitter, or it's a cop-out to go with him, is asinine, because he has won the award in the past. He'll win it again this year, and he's a hell of a defensive player playing on a really good basketball team. And to me, it's still team sports, not individual. If team success, you end up with postseason awards. That's the way. That's just kind of the way it works.
That's the way it works.
Jeff McDonald, his reasoning that he tweeted to me, I buy. That's your opinion, but I still wouldn't vote for him. Even with that, it does not translate to wins.
Look, I don't have a vote, but the guys that do, and the men and women that do, have been covering the NBA, like Jeff McDonald, for a long time. And whatever you think about it, and I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it, but a rookie has never won this award, typically because a rookie is on a bad team. Okay, to your point. And so that's why. And I just, to me, it's a tradition. I think it's something that these guys feel, that they need to uphold. That's their business. But again, I don't care if he wins it or not. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm not going to lose one bit of sleep if he does or he doesn't. So it just doesn't matter to me. And I'm not going to remember who won the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year 5 years from now. And nobody will. Nobody will. And so it's just, I don't understand the importance of Wemby winning this award.
Because he's a Spur.
Okay.
I mean, you do understand that. I mean, he's a Spur and he's up for an award and people want to see him win. I would imagine in, various NBA cities right now, in Philadelphia, there's conversations about who's going to win the most improved player award. They might have that conversation also down in Houston. MVP right now, in Dallas, it's all about Luka. Oklahoma City, it's SGA. In Denver, it's the Joker, right? I mean, if fan bases want to see their guys win, I'm cool with that. You're right. I couldn't tell you who won the MIP award last year. Do you know, Pledge? No.
See?
Does anybody without looking it up? Hell, I couldn't even tell you who won Coach of the Year last year.
You know what I do remember? I remember 1999, 2003, 05, 07. I remember those wins, and 14. That's what I remember, and that's what's important, not individual awards that nobody's going to remember 5 years from now. And I get it, we're Spurs fans, and I guess it's supposed to mean something. But it's like I just don't understand why everybody's getting all upset because Wemby's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. It just makes no sense to me.
And Pledge used the Google box, his boy marking it. And that's his guy. You love that guy. Didn't even know he got a trophy last year for MIP.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, the awards that we remember are MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You remember those?
Okay. Who was the MVP last year?
The Joker.
Okay. Year before that? You don't remember.
Well, because he wasn't our guy.
And I'm not
But I know David has won it. I know Timmy has won it. How many Defense Player of the Years did Timmy win?
None.
What about Bruce Bowen?
None.
And Bruce Bowen should have won.
He should have.
Although
there was a guy by the name of Ben Wallace that was a pretty good defensive player.
He was pretty good, but Bruce should have won.
I agree with that.
And I remember the arguments that we had then, how he was screwed, and now we don't even remember. Did he win it? Did he not win it?
We don't remember that.
But we do.
But we don't. And I won't speak for Bruce Bowen, and I'm sure he's upset about it, and he should be because he got screwed. But I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm not going to live and die whether Wemby wins the Defensive Player of the Year award or not.
Get a whole new T-shirt.
I don't. Do you ever see anybody walking around? Wemby Defensive Player of the Year.
Sure.
You ever really?
It's gonna. Well, no, because he's never won it.
Well, or
Not
anybody.
yet.
Okay, well, name one.
I don't know.
I don't think there's any.
I don't know. I find it comical. And again, for those of you that think Wemby should win, we can agree to disagree. Now, I'm not in the same boat with Joe that because he's a rookie he can't win. I think that's BS. But I do think 22 wins, that's held against him. Finalist, yes. Winner, no.
Finalist is great. It's kind of like the runner-up of the Miss America award. You got to clap your hands for congratulations. You did good. Next year, though, it's your time.
Nobody remembers second place.
Exactly. Except we will.
The only difference is the runner-up of Miss America has a chance of becoming Miss America if Miss America screws things up.
Well, that's true.
Right?
You think Rudy Gobert will screw it up?
No, they're not going to take the award away.
And trust me, Rudy Gobert, not a fan.
Not a fan.
I think he's a softie. He's a complete softie, and he's just not. I'm not a fan of Rudy Gobert. Just telling you the way it is. It's not the way I want it or the way it has to be forever. It's the way that it is.
Now, Pledge doesn't want us to vote for Rudy Gobert. Doesn't think he should win because he started COVID.
He did.
Which he really didn't, but he started the NBA shutdown because of it.
He was the first guy to get it in the NBA, right?
Not a good defender there. Not a good defender.
COVID got the best
exactly.
Slam dunk.
You guys are awful.
Oh my goodness.
You guys are awful. Good Lord. Let's talk NFL. Coming up, it's draft week. We'll talk about it next on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Now all the COVID jokes all over our YouTube channel.
Of course, yes. That's okay. Bring them.
Glad that's over.
Not a Rudy Gobert fan.
I know you're a fan, though, of my friends over at Hill Electric.
I am. Very much so.
They are available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house. So is Joe. In fact, Joe's got more work coming up because, the builder never puts enough outlets in the garage. So they added outlets in my garage, a spotlight over one of the grills outside, nice motion light. They did that. Whatever your project is, this is what's great about Hill Electric. There's never a service charge and always free estimates. Now, they've got the right service at the right price, but it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. And when you call them and you say, hey, I want this done, and you're thinking, well, what about this? Can we put dimmer lights there? Extra outlet here? They can do all of that for you, and they do great work, whether you're talking about stuff at the house or even at your work, maybe at the radio station. If you're rearranging some stuff and they need some outlets put in because, I don't know, the engineer unplugs a power strip and Joe plugs his computer in and thinks it's plugged in, but it's not. You need that new outlet put in at a convenient spot. They can do that for you. USB ports, you name it, Hill Electric will get it done for you. Great family-owned business that's been serving San Antonio homes and businesses for over 3 decades. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. 404-9074 or go to their website, hill-electric.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Tuesday on the Morning Huddle, the playoffs are in full force. How those Nuggets looking? That Minnesota defense looks solid. Rumor has it lots of players want to play with Victor Wembanyama, but what kind of player is required? And oh, by the way, the draft is Thursday night. Likely suspects for all our favorite teams. That's the Morning Huddle. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Looking for the ultimate hangout spot? Swing by 90 Proof Bar and Grill, where the kitchen stays fired up till midnight, serving up all your game day favorites with daily drink specials. 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch. Food, cold drinks, and live sports.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-918-3538. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-918-3538. 800-918-3538. That's 800-918-3538.
Dave Ramsey here. The only water softener I recommend is a quality water softener from Connecticut. It really is the last water softener you'll ever own.
ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit GetGeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at Babbel.com/TNC.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel free. Just text radio to 64,000.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Are your windows struggling to keep up with the game? It's time to upgrade with Maverick Windows. Stay ahead of the competition with energy-efficient windows. Call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631. That's 800-972-3631 to get a free quote.
From the George Salinas Personal Injury Attorney Studios, you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Glad to have you along on a Monday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to get to Thursday.
Oh, me too, man.
Thursday we'll be at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redmond Road, getting ready for the NFL Draft.
Can't wait.
Cannot wait.
What kind of drama are we going to see? I think the first pick is in the books, but after that, who knows?
Well, and I don't know. The Bears have called a press conference for tomorrow, apparently, to announce a new stadium.
Publicly funded, by the way.
Of course, publicly funded. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
You look at everything going on as we get ready for the NFL draft. And I would anticipate a Jerry Stephen, Will McClay press conference at some point this week. Oh, it's tomorrow at noon.
Oh,
see, I knew that. Because what I do find, other than Stephen doing a couple interviews last week with the Fan, the Cowboys aren't doing as much media leading up to this draft as they have in the past.
That's true.
For example, I asked, "Hey man, we getting Stephen, Jerry, or Will McClay this week?" Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Not this year. That's whoever they pick on Thursday night, we'll make sure he's on the Blitz on Friday. But yeah, Stephen ahead of time, probably. Jerry, no. Will, no. And that's very unusual for the Dallas Cowboys. Very unusual. And I'm curious, in this press conference that they've got tomorrow at noon, will they actually shed some light on what they are going to do? What will Jerry say, more importantly, not necessarily the draft, but contracts?
Yeah.
With
he's going to be asked about
Dak
all of
Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, because Dak Prescott talked on Friday at a charity event, and you listen to what Dak said and you listen to his tone. It is interesting because at this point, according to Dak, no serious contract talks have happened yet.
Honestly, I'm focused on the moment, on the now. If the talks begin and real talks get to happen, sure, we can talk about getting that done. But in this case right now, honestly, I'm worried about just getting better, being better tomorrow than I am at this moment. So leaving that up to my agent and Jerry at this point. And when those talks begin, I'll be more involved, obviously.
So no talks to that. Are you surprised with no talks to that?
No, I mean, I've been in conversation. I've talked to Jerry, and so I understand where we are, obviously. And Jerry's mentioned the same, so there's not any gray area in that sense. So, yeah.
He talked about the cap and all the situations and why they're not doing it.
We had a great conversation. We had a great conversation that put us aligned and where we are and moving forward, or where we are in this moment, I should say. And we'll address moving forward as that comes about.
That's interesting how he caught himself moving forward. No, at this moment, I don't know. I'm sure they've talked, Jason, but I don't get the sense that they've talked years, numbers, anything like that.
Jerry and Dak, according to Dak, and you just heard it, have had a conversation where Dak says no gray area. And they're aligned at the moment. Started to say moving forward, but corrected himself.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It can mean all kinds of things. And we don't know if years were talked about, numbers were talked about, but the reason why a deal isn't done yet, I think no gray area. Dak is certainly understanding of the Cowboys' timing on a new contract. You could take it that way. I don't want to say he's on board with it, but he doesn't seem angry yet that the deal isn't done. He doesn't seem panicked that it's not done yet or worried that it might not get done.
I don't think Dak has anything to worry about. I mean, either way, he wins. So whether he's a Dallas Cowboy or somebody else, now maybe has the conversation turned into maybe a trade of sorts, or are there teams that you would feel better about than others?
Dak, with that no trade clause, who would you be willing to waive it for?
Right.
I mean, all of that is a possibility with what little we know. But Dak doesn't seem upset by it by any stretch. Now, he's always said he wants to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and start and end his career in Dallas. And we know playing for Dallas was his dream team. Growing up as a Cowboy fan, it's there. A couple of weeks ago at a press conference announcing the charity event that he was talking at Friday, he seemed pretty confident that a deal was going to get done. And it seems like from that moment till now, he and Jerry has had a conversation where there is no gray area and they are aligned right now. But for the first time, Dak said something publicly that would indicate maybe there is life for him in football, but not with the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm not going to say I fear being here or not. I don't fear either situation, to be candid with you. I love this game and love to play and love to better myself as a player and my teammates around me. Right now it's with the Dallas Cowboys. It's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and that's the focus. And after the season, we'll see where we're at, and if the future holds that, and if not, we'll go from there.
Wow. And I've never heard him say anything like that. It's always been more of a positive tone. We'll get it done. I want to be here. He did say that, but I mean, I want to be here. We'll get this thing worked out. It will happen. For him to even suggest that there could be another uniform involved is eye-opening.
Well, is it the first? Well, I just said he doesn't sound angry.
No, he's got no reason to be angry.
And that wasn't threatening. That was dealing it with reality. But the fact that he said when the season is over, does that mean he does not think a deal will get done prior to the start of the season? And is that his call or is that Jerry's call? But he didn't say that. I mean, I still think a deal gets done before the start of the season, but none of us know what no gray area means. Does that mean he's already been told or he's already said, I'm not signing a deal. Let's not waste anybody's time because I'm going to become a free agent. What we don't know is this Dak pulling the strings and not Jerry, because Dak's wishes. Because again, it takes two to get a deal done. Maybe Dak does want to explore other opportunities, but he's a smart businessman. He's not going to say that now. He's certainly not going to say that to the public.
I don't think that's far-fetched to say that. I really don't think that's far-fetched to say that. Sometimes, you stay at a place and it's not successful, and maybe your owner and Jerry look, we know Jerry was pissed. Yep. He was pissed off after that Green Bay game, and rightly so. And maybe it's just they've talked, and maybe it's time to part ways. Maybe it's time for a new environment. Dak Prescott, for that matter. Look, we're throwing stuff against the wall, but I mean, for Dak to come out and say what he just said, what you just heard, that there is that thing floating out there that he could be playing for a different team, I find that fascinating.
When you look at now, everything you said is true. We know he'll be a free agent next year if he doesn't sign a deal, and that is there. So that's why I say it didn't sound threatening.
No.
But that's the first time I've ever heard Dak Prescott indicate that he could see himself in a different uniform. Now his brother says stuff like that all the time. But you wonder, though, as careful as Dak is with his words when speaking to the media, for him to even put that out there, I find surprising. Because, again, what he says and what it actually means, because he's very careful. It's like being the highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be the highest paid necessarily. So I'll wait until negotiations begin, and obviously want to put this team in the best situation. So,
and some reporters apparently thought that was funny.
Well, it was. We laughed.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, what does necessarily mean? Total contract? Sure, I don't need to be the highest paid total contract guy, but the years, yeah, I'm going to get mine.
Or it could just be, look, I'm going to get paid. Do I have to be the highest paid? If I get a contract for $55 million a year and I tie Joe Burrow, or 55.1, I don't know. I mean, it to me, it's all semantics. It's like, where is your ego is such that you have to be the highest paid guy for a few minutes? I know that he's next, and I get all that BS. But
you're learning, Joe. You're learning.
Well, it's ridiculous to me. But and again, players should get whatever somebody's willing to pay them. But maybe Jerry's not willing to pay that, and maybe that turns the conversation somewhere else, and some other location for number 4.
It's possible. And if the Cowboys draft the quarterback in the first round, then I think we'll all know the answer.
Sure.
Right? The writing is certainly going to be on the wall there. But when I look at, a lot of reasons why you want to be the highest paid guy. You're next. That's the way it's always done. The agents want that. The NFLPA wants that.
Sure.
And, the NFLPA doesn't like it when guys take less money because everybody is going to get more. Salary cap goes up every year, all of that kind of stuff. And I just go back to Jerry at his age. I don't see wanting to start over. I just don't see Jerry Jones letting Dak Prescott walk and not have a capable starting quarterback on the roster. And right now, we don't know that they have that. We don't know what they got in Trey Lance, and Lord knows I don't want to see them give him a chance for a year or 2 or 3. Now, could there be a blockbuster trade in the works? Sure. But right now, with what we know, that isn't the case. So I have a hard time believing that Dak won't get a new deal. Whether you want him to have one or not, he still gives you the best chance to win right now at the most important position in football.
Well, look, I won't argue with that, although he hasn't done it. But the Cowboys haven't improved their team at all.
No.
They're worse now than they were when they walked off the field after getting their butts kicked at Green Bay. Against Green Bay.
True statement. Dak was asked if he's puzzled by the inactivity of the Cowboys front office this offseason.
I don't want to say I'm puzzled. Obviously, I'm focused on the guys that we have. I know we got a lot of great guys, a lot of good that's returning in that locker room. And I say good, but great and young guys that are good that are making that next step. So obviously have faith in those guys. Always done well in the draft and bringing some guys in. So hopefully that'll make a big impact. And I think right now for me, it's about just focusing on the locker room and pouring into those guys. And I don't control that side and making those moves. So I'm not going to put too much thought and angst into it, I guess, and what we're doing and how we're getting that done rather than just how I can invest in the guys and make sure that they're getting better and holding myself accountable to do the same.
He's puzzled. He is. He has to be. He has to be puzzled. Because,
we all are.
Well, of course, you have to be. But if you're Dak Prescott, and this just kind of takes it full circle to maybe Jerry is quietly trying to blow this thing up a little bit. You didn't do anything. You didn't improve your team. You got a bunch of young guys who are going to be starting for you on the offensive line and other places. I mean, there's so many things to think about, and just reading between the lines. And it's interesting. I mean, it is.
Looking at some of the comments on our YouTube channel about Trey Lance. Yeah, that's a bust of a trade. It made no sense when it happened. Unless the Cowboys are using Trey Lance as said trade bait, right?
Could be. Well, I mean, Zach Wilson's off the board, and so is Sam Darnold. So the Cowboys are screwed.
Sure. I mean, you
could have had Zach Wilson for a 7th-round pick. Damn it.
And you would have rather had that?
No, I wouldn't.
I mean,
I'm being, hear the sarcasm there.
Well, the sarcasm coming back.
Yeah.
I just look at all of this, and the Trey Lance trade looks worse today because the Zach Wilson deal is basically a 6th and 7th pick swap between the Jets and the Broncos, and the Jets are going to pay half of his freaking salary this year. I mean, make it make sense, Jerry. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Your definition of what is all in and mine might not be the same thing.
No, they're
not. It definitely isn't.
That's a true statement, Jerry.
Definitely isn't.
True statement. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, the Trey Lance deal. And again, I don't think anybody understood it completely when it happened.
My theory when it happened is it was just to get extra intel on San Francisco. I think holds more water now, even though it didn't work. But I think that's the only thing that makes any sense whatsoever is they thought they could get a little bit of intel from that guy.
Wow.
Because outside of that, the whole thing, none of it made any sense.
And look, we're going to see Trey Lance in preseason, but to me, that means nothing because nobody plays. And, he may look good. He may be decent. Who knows? But until you get him between the lines on a Sunday afternoon regular season, you really don't know what you have. And if you're a Cowboy fan at this point in time, you hope that doesn't happen because Dak is the guy for this year, for sure, unless there is some sort of blockbuster trade.
Again, I still think a deal gets done by August. Before the start of the season, Dak will have a new deal.
I don't know. I'm doubting that more and more, especially after hearing from Dak Prescott.
I no gray area, and they're aligned for right now.
For right now.
For right now.
Yeah, my golf swing is aligned for one hole. Then it goes haywire after that.
It does.
I love you, Dak.
Although, did you see that golfer this weekend? There is a sign floating in the water.
LPGA
on the LPGA. Yeah. She hit the sign, bounced it off the sign, some crazy putt-putt type of stuff, bounced off the sign and made it onto the green.
I think that's great. I mean, you kind of got to look at yourself and say, it just might be my day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
Well, I wish I could be that lucky when I put one into the drink, but there'd be a floating sign.
There's no signs floating where we're playing.
There is a sign that says it's time for us to go.
Yes.
NBA basketball coming up next. We got the Knicks-Sixers game here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
Go Sixers.
3 NBA games tonight. That means no extra innings with Pledge.
Aww.
Although he is going to stick around and take your phone calls and chat with you just so he can feel like he's at work.
You're listening to The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out